This week we're as off the chain as a meth man in the mountains as we discuss the 2012 psychological horror Resolution.
This is not a dream. Not a dream. We are using the waves of
Hello and welcome to the Bloody Bits Horror Show. I am your host, Eddie, the Axe Jefferson, and joining me as always is the guy who used this movie as a reason to avoid treat areas in the future, Tim Yobo. How are you doing today, sir?
Always stay away from those treat areas. You never know what the fuck is lurking underneath those bushes.
Or you never know what's going to be tapping at your window like an escaped mental patient in the night. It's Candice.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. You know, the preponderance of female characters in this movie. I guess she had to shoehorn me in there somewhere.
Well, she passes the Bechdel test, right? Oh, no, wait, she doesn't even talk at all. So
she doesn't have a name either, so, you know.
She's Tappy.
Tappy. Tappy the hobo.
Oh, man. So here we are, folks, in the middle.
Opal junkie, maybe.
Could be. So here we are, folks, in the middle of Listener Request Month. And I got to say, I've been having fun with it. What about you guys?
So far, so good.
Yes, definitely.
I've been really surprised because I thought, there'd be motherfuckers out there that would, make us watch, what was that fucking Danzig movie with the tit that had the eyeball?
Veronica.
Veronica, yeah. Well, there are those motherfuckers, and they have been suggesting those movies to us, but I've just been... a little inside scoop here. I've just been sharing a list of all of the movies that have been suggested to us here in the Discord with Tim and Candice, and then we pick from your suggestions. So we've got some bad ones in there that
I look at the list and I'm like, nope, possibly, nope, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, you can suggest, but here's the deal, like. At the end of the day, we're going to pull rank on it.
Yeah.
This is not a democracy.
No, not at all. I mean, between the three of us, it kind of is because we vote on it. Like, let's do this. Yes, no, whatever. But for the listeners,
but there's usually 2 votes to 1, and that one's Candice. So
that's not true.
Candice
You guys,
was the one
I'm the one who picked the last one and this one.
That's right.
True, yes.
She was the first one to suggest.
Oh, that's right. So, you're holding us off on doing the other one because you want a special guest on it, too.
Yes, because
Candice got the power.
No reason not to do it without that special guest. For real. No. It'd be a crime.
That one, it's required to have that special guest, and that will be coming up. But before we get to that, I think some of you guys have been on a consumption quest here lately, because even before we started recording, you guys started talking. So, Candice, we'll start with you. What have you been consuming this week?
I have consumed the first 2 episodes of The Sandman. And my God, is my arm tired from watching that.
Now, Candice, explain to the listeners, what is The Sandman?
Okay, The Sandman was a DC comic that came out way back in the day. I didn't read them until I was in college. But it's Morpheus, the Lord of Dreams. He's the eternal, the endless. He is not even physical, he is the embodiment of the dream world. And this is about how he has to restore his kingdom because he was captured for a period of time. And everything's gone to shit.
Like, what, 60 or 70 years? Just sitting there?
Yeah, like almost 100 years, yeah.
Sounds interesting. Was that written by anyone in particular?
You might know him. His name's Neil Gaiman. He's kind of a big deal. Also,
kind of.
It's interesting because he looks like Neil Gaiman. He looks like a very pretty version of Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, he kind of does. Look, well,
yeah.
I wonder how that came about. Yeah.
The actor, I can't remember his name. I'd never seen him in anything else before. The actor who plays Morpheus, so fucking fine. He is like sex rolled up into a jelly, and I just want to consume him and, become one with his body.
Yeah. Candice's room smells like sex and candy.
The humidity has risen in this room right now as I'm talking about it. That's why I was like moisten my fingers before every episode, getting ready.
Candice is going to have carpal tunnel by the end of the season.
My husband walked in
Oh
while
my
I was
God.
watching it, and he's like,
Candice gonna be done. She's not gonna have any fingerprints left.
I'm like, oh my God, look at this guy. He looks like Morpheus. They could not have cast a better person. And my husband's like, he's not that good looking. I'm like, shut your fucking mouth. You shut your filthy mouth.
Well, do yourself a favor, Candice. Of course he's gonna cuck the guy a little bit. You know, he knows what you're inside doing while you're watching Morpheus in the bathroom for 3 hours.
Yep.
But do yourself a favor and don't look at what that actor really looks like in real life until after you're done with the whole.
No. The hair, oh my God, that spiky black 80s goth look that he has. Whew! Oh my God, that's I got to stop talking about it, or else I'm not going to stop talking about it. That's my thing. You know how you have your redheads, Tim?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the fuck you're into.
Usually
bound
suffering.
women. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
For
okay,
me,
go on.
it's
He's all getting that adrenochrome from women.
For me, it's like
Yeah.
those guys with the black hair and the really pale skin and the hair short and spiky. That old school goth. Yeah. I'm talking Johnny Depp in Sleepy Hollow. I'm talking this dude is Morpheus. That's my
You
type.
should be playing some Cure music right now.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Just really setting her up. No, I was trying to turn her off because I don't think I can, though.
No,
I think it's just
it's
in
too
those,
powerful.
Yeah, I think it's in the cartoons, when the wolf eats a pepper that's too hot and he tries to drink a bucket of water, but the water evaporates before it touches his tongue.
Yep.
That's what's going
It's
on
not
in Candice's
this. That's
pants right now.
That's what my loins are like.
Here's what's crazy is because that shit usually works on Candice, right? She'll be talking about Jean-Claude Van Damme doing a fucking split. You play that song, she's like, "Oh, stop ruining it!" But she just kept going right through the music.
Nope.
She didn't care.
Powered through it, baby. All right.
Steam powered.
So what about you, Tim? What have you been consuming this week, my friend?
Well, I watched the latest episode of The Rehearsal on HBO. I don't know if you caught up on it yet.
No,
and
I'm
I
not
don't
caught
want
up
to.
yet.
I can't spoil it for anybody.
Okay.
I think there's only 2 more episodes left, and I can't wait to see how this thing is going to end.
Okay.
But I watched last night Prey, the new Predator movie on Hulu or various other places.
On Hulu.
I will see that at some point soon.
Well, like I was saying before we started recording, I've been getting some shit from people because I've been telling people I think it is as good, and let me underline, as good, and not saying better, as good as the original. It is such a great fucking movie, great fucking story. The main actress in it, she's going to be a fucking superstar. She is so fucking good in this movie. I can't believe it.
Isn't she from Legion? She's one of the people...
I have no idea. I don't think I've ever seen it before, but she's so good acting, and she just has a presence. You just want to look at her whenever she's on the screen. And it's just a great fucking story for a Predator movie. Jesus Christ.
In the show
Why couldn't they done this the last 4 times?
In the show Legion, she's one of the main characters in it, and she's very good, which it's a very good show, so... But she also has an action role in it where she's a badass.
I haven't seen Legion. What is that?
It's a show on FX about the Marvel comic book character Legion.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, it's unlike any other Marvel property because it's very trippy and surreal and
okay.
Yeah, it's not like
insane.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it's
I was
nothing at
gonna
all.
say.
It's nothing at all like the rest
It's not
of the
like
Marvel
Silver
stuff.
Surfer or Galactus.
I don't know enough about Marvel, so you know what? I'll take your word for it. But I got to check out Prey.
Speaking of Marvel, my son walks in. He's like, "What are you watching?" And I paused it so he could see it's the Sandman. He's like, "Oh, from Spider-Man." I was like, "No." I was like, "That is a different Sandman." I was like,
backhanded
"Let
him.
me educate you."
Whack.
Well, I will say this. Maybe your son's an old soul, Candice, because when I was growing up, when I first saw the Sandman comic, that's the first thing I thought of. Oh, that's Sandman from Spider-Man. Oh, wait, no, it's DC and a completely different story. But yeah,
That's
I
completely
can see how
different.
he gets that.
I mean, if you just
But
hear
then
the
why
Sandman,
is your fucking son watching Spider-Man 3?
because he's also in
That's
Homecoming.
oh, wait, he watched Homecoming?
He watched Homecoming, yeah.
Okay, good enough.
Oh, Spider-Man 3 was great, Tim.
Oh, shut your mouth.
No, I remember when that first Spider-Man came out, right? The
Yep.
Raimi Spider-Mans. When
Loved
that first one came out, I was like, oh shit! So they can do a comic book movie good.
Well, no, not only can they do a comic, they can do Spider-Man right.
Yeah,
Because when I was growing up, my two favorite comics were Spider-Man and Daredevil.
okay,
And up until that point, neither of them really got good screen representation. I don't know if that Ben Affleck movie probably came after Spider-Man, but
yes.
It did.
it's just, and again, it's a perfect movie for Raimi too. And the second one is again as good, maybe even better.
Oh, the second one's better than the first one, yeah.
Second one's great. Yeah.
Well, the first one it suffers from that thing where it's got to spend 45 minutes with how he got the powers and all this and all that, and speaking of Spider-Man, I just remember that fucking kid, the clip on Twitter with that kid going around, where it shows Peter Parker's got the little things coming out of his hand.
No.
So he can crawl on the wall like the little the barbs, his fingertips. So he can, and this fucking 14-year-old kid is like, how's he going to smack his jackal with that shit?
Smack his jackal.
Some crazy fucking thing like that.
It's funny.
But yeah, no, Spider-Man was always great, and
I was going to say,
there's been a couple of them that haven't been that great, but Spider-Man 3, I think by far is maybe the worst one.
Oh, it's so bad. Ugh.
Even like the original Garfield ones and all that other stuff, which weren't great, but
yeah.
I just remember watching the Japanese Spider-Man, some clips from that, and then just
Spider-Man?
I don't remember what it was called, and then just all of a sudden he's in a Gundam, and I'm like, they fucking would have to put him in a Gundam. Why did they have to put him in a fucking
too
Gundam?
In that show, doesn't he? In that movie?
Oh, that was
Just
Italian
Spider-Man with a gun.
That was fucking funny. So, okay, I'll just get through what I've been consuming. Catching up on Better Call Saul. I'm not going to spoil any of that, but the season's been fucking fantastic. Odenkirk is a national treasure. That dude is a goddamn good actor.
What day does the show come on? Was it on last night?
I don't know, because I watch it on the Blood Bank. So,
because I was gonna say, because for like the last 2 weeks, I noticed that on certain days, Nathan Fielder and Bob Odenkirk are trending on Twitter at the same time.
Yeah, I think
Tim, nobody watches live TV but you. You realize this, right?
Yeah,
I don't watch live TV. I have a computer. I have no internet. No internet?
I have
no TV at all. Everything I watch is over the internet or over the air from my antenna.
How are we recording this, Tim? You're at a Starbucks or something, screaming, getting kicked out. No, so I've been catching up with that, and I caught up on the new Beavis and Butthead series. Tim,
I hate Beavis and Butthead.
I know you do. It's very funny.
And I was there when Beavis and Butthead started, okay? So I'm not Johnny come lately. I hated them right off the fucking bat.
They have a really good episode on it because, so back in the day, there was this big controversy because some kid burned down his trailer and they blamed it on Beavis and Butthead because Beavis...
Of course, yeah.
Because Beavis lit newspapers on fire and was juggling them as like an act when there was an open mic night, and he ended up burning the club down.
That's actually a pretty good idea. I'm going to try that after the show.
Yeah. Well, hey, since you heard somebody say it, that means it's my fault, right?
Yeah. Well, we're going to be huge then because we'll be controversial.
Yeah. Right.
I can sue you, and then you can sue the producers of MTV Beavis and Butthead, because if you didn't watch that show, you wouldn't have mentioned it to me, and then I wouldn't have gotten the idea to do it.
Yeah. So
that idea of fire.
So literally, the first and they were not allowed to play with fire anymore in the series, and they had to have warnings about it. They pulled that episode. It was a big thing, right? So literally, now that it's been rebooted, it's not on MTV. It's a streaming show. Literally, the first episode is about Beavis and fire, and it's
well, I mean, when you think about it, because that was when MTV was really big.
Oh yeah,
MTV was it really big? Kind of not even really going on the decline. It was still peaking. MTV when Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, this was right. Yeah, this was the '90s. So this was like right when like Nirvana and the alternative.
Yeah, and everybody had cable then. Yeah, I remember there was a time there where like you had to know somebody who knew somebody who had cable to get MTV.
I mean, what
was that, and you just heard about it.
They were getting movies made. Like Beavis and Butthead had a movie. There was a movie, Joe's Apartment. was an
remember it.
MTV movie.
Joe's Apartment, yeah.
That piece of shit. So,
So you got to figure, though, it's a show like that. There's going to be, a bunch of potheads watching it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's also going to be a bunch of kids watching it because it's a cartoon and it's funny. So maybe it might be a good idea not to have a show that a bunch of little kids are going to watch with, hey, let's play with fire.
Maybe people should grow the fuck up. That's on them.
Well, maybe what I'm talking about is the kids who haven't grown up yet who thinking maybe it's a good idea to play with fire.
Yeah, parents.
Because I know with all the crazy shit that Bugs Bunny did and Roadrunner, I never as a kid had access to an anvil that I could drop on somebody's head.
But would
Lord
you have?
knows
But
if
if
you
Bugs
did.
Bunny was setting people on fire and burning, and if fucking Elmer Fudd decided to smoke Bugs Bunny out by setting a fire down the rabbit hole, I might do the same thing when I was a kid.
Dan, you
I
are a
can't-
dumbass kid. Jesus Christ.
can't tell you
were
the
the
number of-
reason
I was.
that there was labels on shit.
I can't tell you the
Nah.
number of times Tim Yobo went and dragged to try to trick a bully. Remember when fucking Bugs would do that shit? I'd always want to fuck him.
No, my idea was to wear a fucking yellow and black tracksuit.
See, that was your intimidation colors.
Yeah,
you were trying to startle them.
It didn't work.
So that was
Michelin
fun.
Tire Boy.
Highly recommend that Beavis and Butthead. Fun stuff. Now I gotta ask because they're talking about this new Joker movie coming out
Oh, with Lady Gaga.
with Lady Gaga, and I'm seeing a lot of people on the internet saying how funny it's going to be that the Little Monsters, which isn't the Fred Savage movie, apparently it's Lady Gaga's fans, are going to be in the same theater as all of the Joker boys. So, Tim, you're a comic book boy. What are your thoughts on this Lady Gaga Joker movie?
I don't know what to think because I like the original Joker movie. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was a good take on the whole character.
Mhm.
But I also watched it the right way. I hope.
Hi, yeah.
Because I think the Joker, there's a couple movies like the Joker, Clockwork Orange,
Yeah.
you watch, and Fight Club, right? You watch it and you get it, you get what they're saying, but then you don't want to watch and you're like, oh wow, I want to be Alex, or I want to be Tyler
Yeah.
Durden, I want to be the Joker, right?
You'd have to be a fucking sociopath to want to be narrator or Tyler. So I get you.
But I'm really interested because I won't say she's a great actress, but she's a good enough actress.
Mhm.
And Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor and everything like that. I'm curious to what they're going to do with it. Because some of the things I was seeing on the internet is how pissed off of the Little Monsters and the incels going to be when it turns out to be half a musical, but not enough of a musical.
Yeah. I love the fact that it's going to be a musical, by the way. So great. So what about you, Candice? What are your thoughts, if any, on these? I don't know. Are you not a big fan?
Did you see The Joker?
I did see the Joker and I liked it. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really have much of an opinion about the Joker franchise or Lady Gaga because I don't really give two shits about either of them. Like, I was going to say when Tim was talking about the comics that he grew up reading and stuff, like, the comics that I like are, like, The Sandman or Alan Moore's run of Swamp Thing. It's always the weird shit. Or Fables. Or Why the Last Man. Like, those are my favorite comics. It's never the superhero ones. It's never, like, the villains or anything. They're okay. They're there. But I don't really care for them that much.
Okay. Fair
Yeah,
point.
so
Well, that's what's great about comics. There's something for
there
everybody,
is.
right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a whole world of them.
Yeah, I loved all the Tales from the Crypt comics, so technically I guess I'm a comics guy, too.
You are. You just always, your small worldview. All you
Yeah.
think
Look,
about
I
is
think
Marvel.
comic books have gotten a ton of people who probably would have never read anything in their life
That's true, yeah.
to read, right?
Yeah.
Because you start off with a comic book and they're like, oh, wait, there's a novelization about Batman. Oh, wait, there's a novelization about Spider-Man. And maybe it's going to be a little bit darker and all that stuff. Plus, the other thing, too, is you have to use your imagination with comic books. I'm sure I'm not the first person to say your brain is filling in what's going on in between all those panels and pages, what's the dialogue and the action.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point, Tim.
Yeah.
All right. So, I think we can
Timestamp.
here, yeah.
19 minutes and 40 seconds.
No,
So we're gonna get into
fuck
the shit.
those people. If you have a problem with preamble in a podcast, suck my dick.
Oh, did someone say something? I
No.
know I was going to say, I know they said something about like Asher stuff, and I'm like, well, as a
that's-
podcast that is
Yeah,
nothing,
that's right. Yeah, I saw it on the thing. Yeah.
nothing
Yeah,
but
well-
banter, I think it's totally okay.
Anybody who's got a problem with that shit, just let me know, all right?
You can
So anyhow.
forward that message to gofuckyourself.com.
Yeah. Go to blowme.biz.
And notice how there's no timestamp on where that email address is, so you got to rewind it and listen to it all over again.
Oh, God. Okay, so this one was
Can you
suggested.
rewind a podcast, or am I just old?
You can. You'll
Okay.
Tim, you'll be surprised to know most audio things that you download, you can rewind. Podcasts,
What?
songs.
Is it? Wait, hold on. Is that technically rewinding it though? You skip back.
Nothing is-
Or you skip forward now. I don't think you're rewinding.
Nothing is being wound, so I guess
Yeah.
you're technically correct. And
Yeah, because it's rewind the tape.
unless
right?
you're listening to the podcast on a desktop computer that has an IDE hard drive that still uses a platter, that disc is technically spinning. So does that count?
Well, what I like to do, I like to record all my podcasts onto cassette tapes and then listen to them on my Walkman when I go to work.
Oh,
Your Zune, you download them on your Zune.
fancy boy. I press all my podcasts to vinyl because I'm an audiophile.
Oh, that would not surprise me.
Gotcha.
All right, so this one was suggested by Sophie. I'm not going to try the last name. I'm sorry. On Twitter, and it is 2012's Resolution. Now, do either of you have any history with this movie?
Yes.
By any chance? Okay, Candice.
Wow.
Why
Now-
do you
now-
think I jumped
okay.
on it when I saw it in the list?
Okay, so full stop here. Candice, I may be misremembering because I'm a dumb guy.
Hmm.
But I could have sworn that you had at one point made a statement that you generally dislike horror movies where a central plot element is something crazy, supernatural going on here, or is the person insane?
I don't view this movie as ambiguous. I think it's very obvious
Okay.
that they're not insane. This is really
Okay.
happening.
Okay, fair.
I don't know. I might disagree with you there for a little
I
bit.
mean,
Because
hey.
at one point, I was thinking, does this guy have a fucking problem too? Because what was that other movie that we watched that we streamed?
They look like people.
Are they people?
They look like
They look
people,
like people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are
Okay,
they people?
so-
I mean, that's a very literal take
Yeah.
on that name.
All right.
Are
so,
they people?
So, Candice, let's go into it. What's your history with this film?
So I watched this because I heard good things about it, and it really blew me away with the fact that they could do so much with so little.
Okay.
I completely love that aspect of it. It's cosmic horror to me, unless you're looking at this as mental illness, and you can also look at it that way too. I mean, you could go both directions. But Aaron Moorhead, oh shit, where did I leave my notes on here? Oh well, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, like they're this directing duo that ever since I watched this movie, I've followed their career. Because I was
Okay.
like, these guys are super fucking talented. They're going places. And for the most part, their movies, their feature films, or they only have a handful of them. There's a
Yeah.
continuation of this called The Endless.
I finished watching this movie, Candice, and then I'm 15 minutes into The Endless, and it's already good.
Yeah, it's great. And then they continued on with Synchronic, which has a much, much bigger budget. Not as good as the first two, but it's still good. And then they've also done Archive 81. They did quite a few episodes of that. They did episodes of Moon Knight. And now they're going to be doing most of the second season of Loki. Like,
All right. Hopefully they do better with Loki than they did with Moon Knight, because I hated that fucking
well, I
show.
like that show. So,
Oh, come on, Candice.
but
he fucking falls asleep and wakes up and all the shit
I
happens.
thought that was entertaining, and I liked piecing it together what happened. And I liked the imagining in my head what did happen. I like that part.
Oh, kind of like a comic book. Wait a second.
But these are like two directors, and they always work together, that I've followed their careers from Resolution onwards. Like, anytime, like, actually, Mike on the Grind Bin was the one who was like, you need to watch Archive 81 because you'd really like it. I saw that these two directed some of the episodes, and I messaged him back, and I was like, you need to watch their movies if you like this. Because
Is this their first movie?
I don't remember if there's a very first movie. That might be their first movie. If not, it's definitely their second one.
I think it is their first movie together. I know that what do you call it? Aaron did another movie before this. For the life of me, I can't remember it. But yeah, I think it might be the first together.
Yeah.
Were they friends or anything like that?
No, they hate each other.
No, 'cause I'm just curious because you don't really hear too many things of directors as duos,
well,
right?
it's like
maybe writers and screenwriters, Shane Black and this guy, right? When they get together, they do great shit. You have the Coen brothers. You have who's the people who did the Crank series, right?
Oh,
Neville
yeah.
and Taylor, whatever.
Yep.
It's just you don't really hear too many times like there's two directors working. Usually there's two directors on a movie because one of them got fired halfway through and somebody else comes in. But to be working as a team, you kind of really both of you have to be on the same page for shit, right?
And they one of them will do like most of the writing. I think Justin does most of the writing, and then Aaron will do most of the cinematography. I might have that flip flopped, but but then they direct together. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's more like the DP, and then the what do you call it? Justin's the writer.
DP.
My God, I was trying to have a serious
that?
conversation.
Well,
but no, anytime I've always championed these two. I'm like, you need to watch their stuff. I tell everybody you need to pay attention to these directors because they're the tits. And now they're actually, they're doing stuff for Marvel, which means they're probably making bank. So it makes me very happy. As a person who has followed their career from the very beginning, it makes me very happy that they are being successful.
Yeah, but here's the problem with Marvel, Candice, is Marvel's not going to let them be themselves. Maybe if they get 50% of themselves through it, because if you watch that last Doctor Strange movie, Sam Raimi, you can see it, but it's also not a completely Sam Raimi movie. You have to do these certain things. So I don't know if that's always a good thing. I mean, good for them. They're making money, and then maybe they can do 10 movies that they want to do from doing one season of Loki 2.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that Marvel is going to be giving all those directors do whatever.
And then if people are like, "Oh man, did you hear about these two? They're good directors." I'm like, then I can be a hipster and be like, "Yeah, no fucking shit. I liked them before they were famous, assholes."
There it is.
The best thing they did is Loki season 2, episode 4.
But no, plus I also picked. I picked this movie because I wanted you guys to watch it because I keep telling people to watch this movie. And of course, no one ever listens to me, so now I forced you to.
No, you picked me. Candice. And besides, I was just happy because there was one movie on that list, and I'll say it right now. I don't care who recommended it. I don't care what level of Patreon. We're never doing the fucking Feebles. Fuck that movie in its fucking face.
In its face. Damn.
Hot.
Yeah. That's how you know it's real.
Okay.
But
so what
I wanted to add something else that it also shows my spectrum of film taste. I don't just like the balls to the wall action horror. I also enjoy some of the quieter ones that are more of a character study. I have depth.
Unless it's Hereditary.
Hereditary sucked, okay? It was fucking boring.
Unless it's The Lighthouse.
How about Midsummer?
I don't even watch those movies because I already know I don't like those movies.
Wait, hold on, Candice. I was a holdout on Midsummer too.
No, I don't. If I didn't like Hereditary, why would I watch Midsummer?
Too many.
Because it's Midsummer. Watch.
Too many broads.
Okay.
Nope.
I'm out.
If I didn't like The Witch, why would I watch The Lighthouse? Exactly. I'm not stupid. I know my
Lighthouse
limits.
is way better than The Witch.
You know what? Right now, I'm using my burner account to request that we do Midsummer.
Maybe when we have.
By the way, Eddie, let's see. Oh wait, yeah, burner account. Let's do Midsummer. Eddie, you sound like you have a big dick, so you'll love this movie.
Tim, I'll suck your dick if you pick this.
Now I know it's a lie. All right. So what about you, Tim? Any history with this movie or a first-time watch?
Zero. Zilch. Nothing at all. Never heard of it. If I was just flipping through Netflix or Amazon or whatever streaming service or the blood bank, I would probably just skip right over this.
Yeah. That's the tricky part, right? It's those the like 2012. The cover of it's not real.
No, the cover of it's not great.
descript.
It really doesn't do much
Yeah.
favors for it.
I'll tell you,
Now, covers are important.
I had no history with it either, but when I was putting this list together from all the requests, I put a link to the Internet Movie Database thing, and those always have the trailer. So I checked out the trailer for most of these, and I remember I saw the trailer for this, and I'm like, wow, Candice is going to hate this. So
I didn't even watch the trailer. Like I said, I just said, not the Feebles. Yeah. Candice said, let's do this. I was like, okay, it's not the Feebles. And that was it.
You're so easy, buddy.
I purposely kept my mouth shut.
No.
About the fact that I do have history with this movie.
That's fine. I mean, there's several of them.
It was the hardest thing Candice did all week.
There's several of them on the list I have a history with. But, yeah. So, yeah, I've never seen this one before. And I got to say, it was an enjoyable watch. So I think before we start spoiling things, I would definitely I would definitely suggest people go watch it. It seems like it's pretty easy to get a hold of,
and then watch
especially if you have the Blood Bank.
Yeah, it's on the Blood Bank.
Yep. Then watch The Endless.
Yes, that's the sequel.
Follow up. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. So, as you said, written and directed by the incredible duo of Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. And some of the credits that I've got for Justin Benson here, real quick, other than what you covered, he also did a segment on VHS Viral, Bone Storm. Mm-hmm. You did an episode of Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone reboot.
Oh, which one?
You know what? It just said in the credits episode 8. I don't remember which one that was.
I didn't even know that they did that because I haven't watched it because, I heard that it wasn't very good. So I was like, I'm just going to sit out on this.
It's a reboot of Twilight Zone. It can't be good because you have the name Twilight Zone. Call it something else. Call it Black Mirror, and I'm going to love it. But don't call it the Twilight Zone. Right?
Let's see here. Yeah, no kidding. I think it's this one, Not All Men. Is that it? No.
Does it have to do with time travel? Because that's kind of their thing.
No. You know what? I can't find which one it is because it says it's episode 8, but then you click episode 8 and it fucking doesn't lead to anything. So, great job, guys. Excellent work on fucking...
It's tricky with the internet and Twilight Zone because there's been so many different Twilight Zone shows that, I don't know, let's just say I'm on the internet and I'm looking to watch Twilight Zone Season 2, Episode 4. I have to scroll through 80 different things to get to the actual old 1957 one instead of the reboot of the reboot of the reboot.
Okay, so it's not Episode 8. It's the title of the episode is 8.
Oh.
And it's directed by, Justin Benson, Aaron Moorhead. It's a team of scientists discover a new, highly intelligent species that may endanger more than their research.
Oh, shit.
It's got Joel McHale in it.
Who?
So that's always Joel McHale. So it's starring Peter Sorella as Michael. He was in that weird Contracted sequel. Did you guys ever watch Contracted?
No, never watched Contracted.
Yeah, it's a rough one. It's a body horror about a broad with an STD.
Oh, wait, is that the couple with the girl? It's like
she's
got a 1920 hairstyle on her and some shit coming out of her mouth. Yeah.
So they did a sequel to that apparently, and
he was contractual.
And he was in that, as well as he's of course in The Endless because that's the sequel. So there you go. Vinnie Curran is Chris. He had a role as Machine Head.
Thanks for spoiling it. I only watched the first 15 minutes of The Endless.
Yeah, that is kind of a bit of a spoiler.
Well, I'm sorry. It's in the fucking credits. I don't know what to tell you, Tim. So you got Vinnie Curran as Chris.
Can we rewind?
Go ahead, Tim. Rewind your brain.
Rewind life.
Rewind your brain, Tim. So you got Vinnie...
Can we do this a different way?
Do what a different way?
It's referencing the movie.
Well, we have to have a different outcome. So, the story has to be told either way. Vinnie Curran is Chris. He was Machine Head in Machine Head, a.k.a. Spring Break Killer.
That sounds like your kind of movie right there.
I you know what? I got to tell you, I watched more of the trailer than I should have because it looks like trash, but it looks great.
In a trashy way?
That looks like that might be good. Maybe that will be one of the random picks.
This looks more like it's going to be something we stream one of these weekends. Just basically, you can listen to it with the audio off, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
All
One of
right.
them movies.
Yeah.
Then,
Or one of those movies you have to watch with the audio off.
yeah, probably. Then we've got a couple of fun cameos in this one as well. So you've got Zon McLaren as Charles. And technically, even though the episode never came out because the audio was fucked up, Tim, this is a bloody buddy.
Cool.
He played
I mean,
Crow
for what?
Daddy in Dr. Sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
I did have the note in
right.
here.
That's his name?
Zon McLaren? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that note in
Okay.
here. I was like, hey, look, it's the guy from Dr. Sleep.
He was also in The Forever Purge, and he was in Bone Tomahawk, which that's another fucking fun movie.
Yeah, the only thing I remember from Bone Tomahawk is the
Forever
bisecting.
Purge?
No, fuck. Yeah, the bisecting was great. No, fuck The Forever Purge. Those Purge movies can suck my dick.
I
Every
agree.
fucking one of them.
No, the last one is it literally is like everybody just went, hey, fuck this shit. Why really do this one day a year? Let's just do this 365 days a year. Yeehaw!
Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's be racist every day of the year.
Yeah, it just came full circle. The whole thing about the thing of the purge was so you didn't do crimes
Yeah,
for the rest of the
exactly.
year. You just did it one night.
Right. So the whole point of the Purge is all crimes are legal for 24 hours. Okay, you know how much insider trading I'm doing?
That's what I'm going to say. That's some Nancy Pelosi shit
Yeah.
going on right
Oh
there.
yeah,
right?
for Pelosi, it is the Forever Purge, I guess. And by the way, the Republicans do the same shit. So fucking suck my dick.
They all do it. Yeah, it's look. I think I heard that Lorena Bobbitt, whatever that fucking crazy bitch's name is, not the one who cut the guy's dick off, the one who's trying to cut the country's dick off. She's now worth like $3 million or $4 million, and she's only been in fucking Congress for like 2 years.
Yeah, we got to start.
And before this, she was getting money from she was getting money from the government for pandemic and employment insurance
Yeah,
for her
we
business.
got to start getting the fucking guillotines out again, man. You don't have to kill all of
I don't know
them.
if
You
we
just
need to
got to
go that
get
far,
like.
but it just should be if you want to be in, if you want to be a senator or a congressman or a governor
That
or
ain't
something
gonna-
like that, you just cannot have stocks.
We got to
in
take
anything.
out like
Don't
Did
fuck
you-
20 of them.
Did you know that severe punishments like that actually do not deter crime? That's been
Cutting
proven.
people's heads off?
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, it's been proven.
Because nobody commits a crime thinking they're going to get
Yeah.
caught.
It's
Well,
actually
yeah,
no
I mean-
deterrent. Like harsh sentences like that does not deter crime.
I don't know. They burned a bunch of broads, and
And if anything, it makes it more
they
sexy.
burned a bunch of broads at the stake, and then I think that the population of witches went down.
Really, Eddie? Really?
Yeah, right?
Well, I'll tell you how it would have went down. Is they burned the first broad, and then they asked the next broad, "Are you a witch?" And she said, "Nope."
And yet, that's
No,
not
sir.
what happened.
I know. It was-
Do you not also cook dinner for your husband when he comes home from work? Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yeah.
right. So then, other than that, we've got Bill Orbist Jr., who plays one of my favorite roles in this, Byron.
Yeah.
This fucking dude has got 31 credits that are announced or in post-production
Damn.
right now. He's
Holy
got
shit.
over like, I think he's got like 190, 200 credits.
Because I was going to say, the only person in this cast I see from anything else is the dude from Dr. Sleep.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
this guy's been, 198 credits. Of those 198 credits, literally the only thing you're probably going to recognize is 3 from Hell. Everything else is just some bullshit. Like,
Please. I did not watch that
no,
shit fuck of a movie.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the audience.
Oh, okay.
They-
Wait, that's a new one,
No,
right?
no.
I mean, relatively new. It came out
Yeah,
quite a few years
okay.
ago, but
Oh, that's right. Yes. Oh, that's right. Yes, not the Devil's Rejects. I got it mixed up.
yeah, it's the same people as the Devil's Reject, but yeah. Fucking zombie, dude. His movies suck. Anyhow, this dude, fucking a ton of shit, and he's so fun in this one. So anyhow, Candice, if you have any more background stuff you want to throw in here, like you said, though, I mean, it's kind of a shoestring budget, not a
Yeah.
lot of people in it. It's
no, there's not really anything else I wanted to say other than the fact that, I'm cool because I knew these two before they got it big.
there you go, hipster Candice.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we open on a guy smoking crack.
And I was like, here's Eddie's dream life.
Is it crack or is
It's
it meth? I
No,
think
I'm
it's
pretty
meth,
sure it's
right?
crack because they literally say crack through the entire
Well,
movie.
he says crack, and he says meth.
Okay,
So-
because it looks like a crack pipe, but also no, for meth you don't need one of those torches, right?
I have no idea.
I don't.
Or you do need a torch.
No,
for the
yeah,
meth,
you need
right?
a torch for meth, but not for crack. That's right.
Yeah, okay.
I got to remember from Boy Scouts. It's been a long time. So
No, because I remember I bought a crack
Why the
pipe.
fuck-
without
Oh
realizing
my
it was actually a
God.
crack pipe.
Is that?
I was like, wow, this is cool. This is like a little pocket bomb.
Yeah, I'm sure
right?
when you told the police that, they believed you.
I swear to God, Candice, there were 2 times where I was in a car that got pulled over by cops, and I had that shit, and I was like, oh man, you know what? They're gonna think that shit's crack. But then I was also like, nah. First of all, if they smell it, they're gonna be able to tell it's pot and not crack. And I don't think you use the same pipe for both of the same things. Plus, I'm white.
They're not
Yeah,
searching your
alcohol.
vehicle anyway, so.
yeah, they just be like, "Oh, sorry, we pulled you over."
Sorry, sir, we didn't realize you were white when we pulled you over. You're good to go.
Got pulled over coming out of quote unquote a known drug area at like 2:00 in the morning, and the only thing the cop said to us is, "I hate people who buy drugs here. Now go
That
home."
was one of my favorite scenes in the new Beavis and Butthead movie. Is they go to college, right, and they end up on this campus, and they're in this gender studies class, and the person's all talking about how white males have white male privilege. And Beavis and Butthead are like, what does that mean? They're like, it means you have all these advantages in life. The justice system will leave you alone.
That means you're Beavis and Butthead and you're in a class.
Basically, that they can get away with whatever. And he's like, oh, awesome, cool. So they just start going off and just telling everybody, like, hey, we can do whatever the fuck we want. We're white males. A cop pulls him over. He's like, yeah, you can't arrest me. I have white privilege, dumbass.
No, you see, you got to keep that shit quiet, man. That's
Yeah.
why you do the wink and the nod,
Yep.
Yeah,
right?
you don't come right out and say it. It's just known. It's open
Yeah.
secret.
You just look at the cop and go, everything's okay, right?
You wouldn't mind if I dated your daughter, right? And then he'd be like, yeah, that's true. Anyhow, go back to smoking crack, shooting at birds that
Yeah.
don't exist, and tossing bombs in ponds.
Isn't this what you wanted when you said if you ever won the lotto, would be your dream existence? Like
I mean,
living out in the
kinda.
middle of nowhere.
Can you imagine if that guy won the lotto? If he won that fucking $1 billion
Tell you
Yeah.
exactly
lotto?
what he'd do with it. He would smoke crack.
Yep.
That's all this poor man wants to do is smoke crack.
But here's the
Wasn't there something? Was it Dave Chappelle show or something like that they did where somebody had like the biggest crack rock in the whole
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
world? It was like 82 pounds or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, God. So no, yeah, so there you go. Like he's having a good old time. And then it turns out then he accidentally cuts himself with a broken pipe. So I guess the good times are over. And I guess it was
Well, yeah, because you broke your pipe.
yeah. And then I say I guess he was live streaming it because his friends watching on in disgust.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Well, I was going to mention this at the very top. So I listened to an interview with the directors when this movie came out, and they said that like the character of Chris, he's not hurting anyone. Like he's minding his own business, killing himself
No.
slowly, smoking crack. He's not hurting anyone. Is his friend an asshole for trying to stage an intervention, trying to force him to go clean? Like, is that a
Well-
selfish move on his friend's part?
so the only
Well, you're going to find out he's not exactly altruistic in his motives for doing it.
right, but also you find out in the movie that this dude Chris has burned bridges with everybody in his life, ruined
Yeah,
their
but
wedding.
that's done
like,
and over with now. Like, he
oh yeah,
just
so
wants
at this
to-
point, yeah. Fuck
yeah,
it.
at this point, he
Well, yeah, because we get to a certain point in the movie. I mean, spoiler alert, we're going to jump around back and forth because I'm high and I'm drinking and I have a little bit of COVID still left over, so I'm speedballing it, motherfuckers. He says, like, just let me
Yeah.
go. You just have to learn to let me go.
Yeah.
This is what I want
yeah,
to
it's
do.
like
Yeah.
I'm not hurting anyone. I just want to kill myself smoking crack, and it's like, well, I mean, is that the junkie's choice? Like, if they're
Starting to-
not hurting anyone,
Starting to sound like a Satanist there, Candice.
Sound like
Should
a
be allowed to
libertarian.
do whatever you want, provided it doesn't hurt anybody that doesn't want to get hurt. His
well,
body, his choice, right?
it also kind of spoke to me because I've been there with a friend, and my sister, where it's like you have destroyed every relationship you ever had with a person in your life. I have to walk away because I can't watch you kill yourself.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Well, I mean, also, if you're at that point, if you're at the point where this guy is in the movie, he's mostly hurting himself, but he also still has to do some shit to be able to get that money to buy that crack, right? And maybe he's just breaking into houses or whatever, but I mean, that is something where it's like, all right, now it's not just affecting you. I'm your next door neighbor. You want to kill yourself smoking crack? Fine, I don't care. But now you're breaking into my house to steal my TV and my VCR to sell.
Right. So like,
crack.
if he was like, let's say he inherited like a bunch of
if
money.
he won the lotto and he was going to smoke $1 billion worth of crack, and no, look, $500 million worth of crack, and another $500 million on bullets.
Yeah, so we can shoot the damn government birds.
But see, that's where that motherfucker's fucking shit up, right? He's just fucking shooting blindly at stuff like that. Yeah, so I can see both of the points.
The other problem
is food for thought. There's no straight answer.
Right,
it's just food for thought.
I mean, okay, so you're getting into just a philosophical question, which is like, should...
That's what people listen to.
Because, we're fucking smart. If somebody is just, damaging themselves and nobody else, should they be allowed to do that? And of course, it's their fucking body. You should be able to kill yourself if you fucking want. It's your body. Fuck it.
I do fuck my body whenever I watch a Sandman.
Okay. So, I guess, so his buddy...
How are you more of a dirty old man than me?
I don't know, man. It's not the years, it's the miles, Tim. And she's putting some miles on that clit. All right. So then his buddy Mike, like you said, he drives out there to try to rescue his ass. And I have here, when he gets there, his friend Chris is... Okay, now, I get wanting to help your buddy, right? But say Tim, you wanted to come help me out, right? Because in this scenario, the guy coming from the city to the guy trying to wing invisible birds with his crazy guns, that's how it would play out, right? So say you come out to rescue me and you're like, I'm going to help my buddy. I'm going to take him to rehab. If you have to duck behind your truck because there's just live rounds going off and I'm screaming about how the birds are wearing hats now and I know they're not Santa...
Well, see, as a New Yorker, I just think that's what you have to do whenever you go down south, right? Or where there's a place a lot of people have guns, because they could be people shooting at any time. But you are right, Eddie. Well, I think what that's supposed to be is like how hard he's making it to help him, right? You have to get past me fucking blindly shooting. But yeah, on the other hand, I would be yelling and screaming a lot sooner, hey, it's me, Tim Yobo, your best friend... over and over and over again. Or I'd be screaming, it's a Domino's guy, I got a free pizza
and this
for
is
you,
where I say this is right outside of San Diego, according to IMDb. This is California.
Yeah. Well, people are shooting out here all the time. It's fine. No, so I go to this guy's plan is to sneak up on his crack friend who's actively firing live rounds, and he's likely higher than giraffe pussy. This guy's a fucking party.
I've heard him use that before. It's old now.
I guess I wasn't paying attention.
It's all good, Tim. He's ranting about, there's these bugs that are eating me, and they ate the tree, but they didn't eat all of the tree because they're fuckers.
Oh, no, I have written down, those bugs are being a dick.
Yeah, the bugs.
They're not eating the whole tree. They're just eating enough so I can see it.
This is a perfect example of a movie that really lives on the dialogue and the chemistry between the two characters.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that they do a fantastic job.
You get a lot of their relationship out in this, and it's fucking fun, man.
Man, if you put fucking Channing Tatum in this movie, it sucks.
Well, you want Chris Pratt. He's got to be in
Oh,
it.
God. Shut up. Oh, they're remaking it. They're rebooting The Endless, and it stars Chris Pratt. God.
Yeah, it's Chris Pratt and Michael Cera.
He's going to do the voice of The Endless.
God. So he finally gets up to him and is like, hey, want to get a beer? Yeah, sure, why not? Dude's all like, man, you lost a lot of weight. And he's like, yeah, I'm on the Krakens. diet.
Hey.
Get it? Like Atkins.
I
but
just
it's
like
crack.
how this dude doesn't tiptoe around it. He's like, I smoke crack. This is what I do. This is who I am. Like he doesn't even like tiptoe around the subject. He's like, yep, I openly smoke crack, and you're gonna have to deal with that knowledge.
Well, I mean, he'd have to be on a whole different level of self-delusion if when his friend shows up, he's sitting in that house shooting at birds who are wearing
Yeah.
hats on their heads. And they're like, no, I'm perfect. I haven't done crack in 7 months.
Only person worse than the guy who's doing all that shit high on crack is the guy doing all that shit that's not high on crack. So yeah, he gets him in the house. He's like, shit, where the fuck did my pipe go? He's like, you took my goddamn pipe, you son
he's
of
like,
a
you
bitch.
did it. He's like, I know you did it. Stop messing with me. You're like,
No,
oh my
I
god, he's
didn't.
paranoid.
Take your fucking pipe, dude. It's like, all right, no, it must have been the birds that took my pipe. So he runs outside and fires off a couple more rounds at the birds for good measure. And I my note I have here is immediately, this guy's my hero.
Yep, I knew
So-
you'd like it.
Yeah, he's the right kind of guy to be. So then we learned that Chris ruined Mike's wedding, right? And that there's this whole kind of, there's this weird subplot with the wife being pissed off at Chris and not really wanting him.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on what he did to ruin the wedding.
Plus, you've always got in any relationship, your spouse has that one friend that you can't stand, but they're like, oh, we grew up together. We're best friends.
Yeah.
Oh, Candice sounds like she's
Yeah.
talking from
Everybody's got
experience.
those.
Somebody
That
doesn't
was,
like jazz.
I have to admit, I don't like Family Guy because it's fucking annoying. But there was one of those little cutaway jokes that was pretty funny where Cleveland pisses off his wife. And she hangs up the phone, goes over, and there's a glass case with 3 women in it that says, friends who hate your husband, break in case of emergency. So she breaks the glass. I told you he wasn't no good. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. You're right. You're always fucking right. So, yeah. That's Chris is Mike's that friend in case him and the wife ever split up. So he ends up finagling the gun away from him. And he's like, all right, man, here, I'll go get your pipe because, he dropped the gun outside like a responsible gun owner. He was like, all right, here's your pipe. Now, look, man.
And you know what? Hats off because it doesn't come back.
The
gun?
Right?
No.
Yeah.
A lot of other guns do, but we'll get to that. So that he tosses the gun, like you said, Tim, it's gone. He's like, all right, one more chance, dude. I'll take you to rehab right now. Let's go. Because, I'm not going to fucking do that. You see, I got too much shit going on. I'm working on a book with this dog about the
This
squirrels.
part's great.
It was a dog's idea,
Yeah.
so
He's
you
got
know
a
it's going
great
to be good.
imagination.
Yeah, and he's like, I can't do that. And Mike's like, all right, fine, no problem. Secret taser. Fucking tases his ass.
Not secret taser. You hear it in the beginning of the movie. It's a scene where the screen is black and he's packing up. You hear the zipper.
I
and you
totally
hear
missed that.
where he's
Yeah, but
testing
to
it out.
Chris, it's a secret taser.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on, Chris. You should be fucking prepared for a fucking secret taser dropped by satellites on your ass.
Even
by
the
now,
fucking
right?
satellites, too, man. Oh, my God.
Well, it makes sense because they're all over the
Yeah.
place.
What would it, goddamn, if you went back, here's a good question for you guys. If you went back to, cavemen and you gave them crack, what do you think their conspiracies would be about?
Not where I thought
Holy
that was going to
fuck.
go.
We have to make that movie. We have to make that movie. Time traveling back and give different generations crack and see what would happen. During the French Revolution,
That's
if they were
probably
on
witches.
crack,
They probably just blame it
cavemen
on witches.
crack, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, you get the judges at the Salem witch trials crack.
I guess that's
and see what
technically
happens.
with what the monster is in this, quote unquote. That's kind of what they're getting at here, right? Is the what your paranoia, how you explain it, effectively, because they get into, is it ghosts, is it the government, is it yada yada.
Oh yeah, because at one point, as one becomes less paranoid,
Yeah.
the other one becomes more paranoid.
Yeah, I just want to give cavemen crack. That's all. I think that'd be.
That's a great fucking idea,
They're-
man. Please,
They were
somebody
already
do that.
worried enough about dinosaurs and shit, right?
Oh my god.
What's the matter, Candice?
Just do a thing like the gods must be crazy, but instead of a Coke
It's just
bottle,
Coke.
it's just Coke.
Oh, God. Oh God, just dropping coke off to indigenous people. That there's a fun movie, Tim. So yeah, he tases his ass and handcuffs him to a pipe, and now we have the premise of the movie, which is I'm going to stay with you here in this hovel, in this fucking, I don't know what. It'd still be like $2,500 a month out here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now, yeah. Not back then.
This is the resolution. He's not going to leave his friend until his friend gets clean.
Yes.
Well, I think here's the part, Candice, what he said is he doing the right thing or is he not doing the right thing? Because, like we said, for the most part, the guy's not hurting anybody. He's doing what he wants to do. And here comes this guy with like, you know what? No,
Yeah.
I know better than you do, and I'm going to literally force you to do it.
I think it's very interesting. I think it's an interesting take too, because you kind of just, well, yeah, you're going to help your buddy. You're going to, do an intervention. You're going to do, if your friend's killing themselves with drugs, you're going to.
There's interventions and there's interventions.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that, like,
right?
Morally, most people would agree with this, but when you really think about it, maybe this guy isn't in the right.
Yeah, no, this guy sucks. Like, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't chain somebody to a pipe.
Well, no, because, again, jumping ahead, spoiler alerts, but after, like, day 3, day 4, where the guy's pretty much got the jonesing part pretty much done with, he's like, dude, I'm still going to do drugs.
Yeah.
I want to do drugs. There's something in my body that just makes me do drugs. The only time I'm happy is when I'm doing drugs. So even when he's, at that point, technically clean, maybe not through the whole fucking thing of going through the withdrawal and everything like that, but he's still just saying straight up, this is what I want to do.
Even when he's like in his right mind, he's like, I want to, it's the only time I'm happy. Why can't I have this?
Yeah. No, you're right. It's a fucked up, it is an interesting moral question, right? Because, I mean, on one hand, maybe the guy could be living a better, more comfortable life that's not out in this weird shed where people are threatening to kill him repeatedly.
Nobody's starting to kill him until it's fucking.
Yeah, his friend actually makes things worse for him,
right?
Right. So, yeah, that's true. He does. Although, like, okay, we'll get to it. So yeah, he's like, all right, I'm gonna go now that I've got you chained up in this fucking weird cabin. I'm gonna get out of here because I gotta go get some supplies. I'm like, maybe you should have got the supplies first and just had them in your truck.
Well, no, because if he's going to go to rehab, you don't need the
that's
supplies,
true.
right? You only need the supplies after you have to.
Yeah, but he brought the.
Which I'm like, by the way, that's a crackhead. He could probably fucking chew his wrist off before his friend gets back from the supermarket, right?
Fair. If Cary Elwes could saw his leg off, then he could probably chew his hand off. So, then he drives off to go get some fucking supplies, lies to his wife. He's like, yeah, he agreed, and we're up at some cabin doing a rehab, and there's no signal there, conveniently. So, hey, I gotta go. So Mike comes back, and there's the dog. Pets the dog, is like, all right, Chris, for real, let's end this. I'll go to rehab. Mike's like, yeah,
I got my drug glasses on. I'm nice and calm all of a sudden for no good reason.
Mike's all like,
there's a smell of burnt aluminum in
Mike's
the house.
all like, yeah, it's not going to happen. You're full of shit, dog. Then we have this pretty good scene of Chris whining, please, Mike, look, man, I really, really need the drugs. Just give me some drugs, please. And he's, got no fucking energy, just laying on his side. It's that, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Mm-hmm.
I was just waiting for him to do a Jack Black from Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. I gotta watch that movie again, man. I was just thinking about that one the other day.
Oh, no, that's why they have him tied up to the tree, and he tells him, I'll suck your dick.
Yeah.
Just give me some... It's like, within like 20 seconds of being tied up to the tree, it's like, I'll suck your dick. Come on.
So, no, instead he just walks over with some water and an apple. Mike goes to refill the water, and Chris fucking jumps his ass. But then...
but he planned for this.
Yep. Because, again, secret taser. Bzz. Knocks his ass. Fuck. He's like, all right, well, here's that water anyway. So nonchalant after. I don't know, man. Tasing your buddy's got to be rough. I haven't done it, but I imagine it's got to be a rough scenario.
He's going through a crackhead conversion.
I know my husband's talked about a time when he worked at McDonald's in high school, and him and his friends all got different grades of tasers. And it was their happy fun time to tase each other.
What?
Yeah.
Like,
wait, hold on. You said your husband worked at McDonald's and they got
no, I mean not issued by McDonald's.
Yeah. They bought them all. Oh, so he worked at McDonald's. He used his paycheck to buy a taser. Okay,
he was
gotcha.
a dumbass.
I was like, whoa.
Well, McDonald's has got a real fucking tough, harsh policy on the Hamburglar nowadays. They ain't taking any shit.
That's why you don't see him anymore,
so
right?
They all had like different levels of tasers, and they would like walk around in the building and just like surprise tase each other. Because this is what teenage boys do.
Surprise tase. That's like, there was this study. What the fuck? Okay, I wish I could remember the specifics of it. But there was this study where they brought men and women into a room, right? And they sat them there and they're like, okay, so here's the thing. If you push this button, it's going to administer a shock to you, right?
If the person gets a question
No,
right?
Tim.
You or somebody
else?
else?
You walk into a room, right? There's a box. Literally, it's just got a button on. And the guy tells you, Tim, if you push that button, you're going to shock yourself. Period. End of story. That's all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So that's going to be for another test that we're doing, but we're going to go set up. So we'll be back here in like 10, 15 minutes. Then they leave. Right?
Yeah, now the real test starts. Yeah.
I think it was 3 out of every 10 women that went in there would shock themselves before the guy came back.
Why?
To test it out?
Tim, 8 out of 10 men would shock themselves before the guy came back.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys are stupid.
Men are dumb.
Yeah, this is fact.
Well, I think...
Yeah.
I mean, the guy didn't tell you how strong the shock is going to be, how long it's going to last, or anything,
They did
right?
say something about, like, it was just going to be a little, like, shock. It's not, like, going to kill you or anything. But you will shock yourself.
I mean, you can chalk that up to the stupidity
It's
or
curiosity.
Right?
Yeah, the guy's like...
Because, I mean, you figure, all right, look, so when the guy comes back, he's going to do something where he's going to have me press the button anyway, right? Because I'm in a room with a fucking button that's going to shock me. So sooner or later, I'm going to have to get shocked. So let me see what it's like. So when it happens,
I like how you're rationalizing this because you're like, maybe, well, it's not really that dumb if you think about it. And we're like, no, Tim, it really is that dumb.
I was just going to say, Candice, Tim just talked himself into it in under 2 minutes.
Exactly.
I don't want to be surprised, man.
That's all it takes.
Plus, like I said, no. See, I am smart enough to know that if you sign up in college or whatever, if you're hard up for money, you sign up for any of those psychological test things, whatever they tell you it is, that's not the thing.
So my dumb ass, when I remember when I heard about this, I was like, well, what I would do is I would pretend to push the button in front of the guy and be like, man, this doesn't work. And see if I could get him to
do it
shock
and then
himself.
be like, ah! Like you're dying. Like really freak him out.
Just shit yourself.
Be like, well, I better not touch it because I have a pacemaker. That could probably kill me, huh, dude?
No, we should ask that question before you sign up for the test.
So anyway, a couple of Chris's buddies show up. Billy and Micah.
Yeah, these are like Tim's friends showing up.
No, these are like my friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think these are more close to Eddie's friends.
These are some
friends.
dudes I definitely knew just out of high school.
Oh, yeah.
That probably still live in that town. Yep,
we all know those people.
Yeah. And they show up and they're like, hey, Mike, can Chris come out to play crack with us? And he's like, nah, he's sick. He can't come out and play crack with you guys anymore. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, he owes us a crack. And the guy's like, nah, look, bitch. And he gets his bat. And he's like, why don't you come get some? Because he doesn't owe you a crack. You got to leave. They're like,
they call it like Crizzy and stuff. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, don't just call it.
They call it chicken. Like everything
chicken.
but crack. I don't think they ever say crack. Like, we didn't know you like chicken.
Yeah.
Everybody
you want
likes
some chicken? No problem. I got a can back here. One of those whole chickens in a can. I mean, because the food that they have to be getting from this convenience store, by the way, it can't be good.
It's like canned beans.
Yeah, that's okay then. So anyhow, they get the fuck out. And Mike's like, hey, Chris, have you been dealing crack to these fuckers?
And he
He's
says,
like,
I wish I was dealing.
yeah. Damn, that'd be good. That'd mean I had a source. It's like, no. He's like, all right, well, why do you have this gun? He's like, well, I mean, the gray man, duh. I was like, what? It's like, okay, listen. I know you are not caught up to this just yet, but the government assigns us all shadow men that follow us around, right? We know that. And Mike's like, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
His ramblings are priceless.
They're pretty fun. So it's like, no, okay. So really what it is that I owe them some drugs because I asked if I could borrow. I went over next door and I knocked and asked if I could borrow a cup.
Yeah, because his check didn't come through that month.
Yeah, you said he.
So all right, so he's getting a check from something, right?
Yeah.
And he's not paying any rent, so that money can go 100%
Thanks,
to crack.
Obama. But apparently,
this is
It's a
why I don't pay
stimulus
my
check.
taxes, because I know that drug addicts use it to feed their habit.
oh yeah, people that, and then people get food stamps so they can afford
Oh, yeah.
the food that prisoners get. Like, yeah, those fucking lazy bastards. So.
Oh, you mean like the ones who live in a food desert where they can only use that food stamp to buy Doritos and Haagen-Dazs ice cream?
That sounds pretty good, actually. Haagen-Dazs isn't a bad ice cream.
It's also expensive as hell, too.
It's also American. They just made up a fake German-sounding fun name to.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me tell you, Eddie, I swear to God, because I'm old enough to remember when Haagen-Dazs was like first introduced, it was like a whole fucking media campaign. The commercial was like, holy fucking shit, I want to fuck that ice
Fuck
cream.
the ice cream?
What?
Sex sells.
All right, Tim. Well, you're supposed to eat ice cream. So Tim bought chocolate and
Before you got to lick it.
Tim bought
before you
chocolate
stick
and
it.
made Rocky Road, folks. So no, he's like, I borrowed. They were my neighbors. I knocked on their door. I borrowed a cup of crack, and now I owe it to them. So
Does that work with crackheads and meth heads? Can you borrow drugs? If a crackhead has money, 99% of the time it's going to be used to buy more crack. Are they going to lend it to some other
Maybe if they
crackhead?
know that they can get him on the hook and make more money longer.
That-
Though they
that
don't
would
seem to
make
have much
sense.
foresight.
there's
I don't think that. Yeah, it can. That's not. Yeah, because later on they show up at the house playing rock paper scissors for 7.5 hours.
yeah. We got it, Tim. You got to be my Ed McMahon, and I'll be Carson, and we'll do the Carmack bit, okay? So.
Well, you know what? Funny thing is, Ed McMahon turned out to be a nicer guy
So
than
we'll do
Johnny
the
Carson.
Carmack bit, right, with the envelope.
Wait,
Remember that bit?
wait. Is there something I don't know about that Johnny Carson ended up being like a sex offender or something?
I mean, not technically ever charged for anything or anything like that, but I mean, he was Johnny Carson back in the day, and everything that you hear about people today, he did it.
So, okay, so we're going to do the Carmack. Here we go. All right, so 3 things, right? An honest politician, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's another good one here? Oh, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 and Leftover Crack. Hold on, let me open the envelope. It says 3 things that don't exist.
Hey-ho!
Yeah, there's no such thing as leftover crack. It's not like you go to a crackhead's place and they're like, hey, you got any laying around? You're not borrowing crack.
Yeah, you know what? I'm tired. Let me go to sleep. I'll smoke the rest of that
God,
crack
the amount
tomorrow.
of drugs I thought people were going to offer me because in school, because that's what they taught me, versus like the amount of times people have asked me to go in on a bag or something. Fucking.
Yeah, because I was old enough. I never got that drug lecture in school about people giving you free drugs, but I always heard that most drug dealers give you the
I mean,
first
they
one
should
for
have pointed out. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
You know how in 5th grade they took all the girls aside and they're like, "All right, you're going to be bleeding for the rest of your life. It sucks. Wear a
It's
helmet."
not the rest of your life.
Where
I mean, just life sucks. So what are you going to do? Not the most of the rest of your life, Candice. I'm sorry. So anyway, Pedantic bitch. So anyway, they should also have, during the DARE thing, when they were teaching kids about drugs, they should have pulled the girls aside and been like, listen, people are going to offer you free drugs. I mean, they're not really free.
Yep. Oh, shit. Especially once you get your period.
They're not really going to be free. There is going to be some exchanging going on.
Yeah, they should have said people will barter drugs.
Got to pay attention to them a little bit.
Yeah, certain parts of their body you got to pay attention to, and you get free drugs.
No,
win-win.
You don't even have to do that much. You just have to spend time with them, and guys will just give you drugs.
Hear
That's
that,
been my
Jim?
experience.
No, hold on, Candice is right, because you remember my famous story about going to see Laser Beatles, and those two French-Canadian girls walked up to me and my
They
friend
didn't have to do
Mario,
shit.
and nope, they just had to let my imagination run
All you got to do is...
I'm going to get fucked because I gave somebody a
All you
joint
got to
at
do is
Central
let them
Park.
think that they're going to get something.
So, Tim, has any woman
That's
ever
true.
offered you free drugs because you let her think she was going to get some?
No, I will. Here's what happened a while ago. Maybe Jesus Christ, maybe 20 years ago. My pot dealer was a chick, and she was kind of hot.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh
you look
my
back on it
fucking
now,
God.
and you're like, I am such a fucking idiot.
Yep.
Yes, I was, because you know what? I was cutting myself off from the point where I would buy enough where I would get a discount, because that would mean that I wouldn't be able to come every 2 weeks and only be able to come once a month. And guaranteed, the next time I come, she's going to...
yeah,
it's
for
going to
sure.
happen, 100%.
Come on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the way she's talking to me and playing around and all this shit. And, oh, look at that. She got a little mini skirt on, and you can see her underwear, and she's doing all that other stuff. And meanwhile, she's just laughing and laughing and laughing and taking my money. Good. No discount
That's
for you.
a
No
smart
pussy
woman
for
right
you.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, because every single guy who went to her, because I knew a bunch of people who went to her, we all like talking like, I always felt like the next time I went there, we were going to fuck. And like, yeah, me too. Oh, fuck yeah. None of us did it, though.
God damn.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
one
what?
of the perks of being female is
The
that
very
guys
few.
will just give you stuff. Like,
That's
do you know
how
how
you
many
make up
video
for-
games I've gotten? Or
That's how
movies,
you make-
or...
Wow, Candice. I don't know if I'd be bragging about
Yeah,
that.
that's how you make up for the wage gap, right?
Well, yeah, you got to make it up somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. See,
Yeah,
it's
the
that
only
pussy
the only
tax.
thing is that we don't have to worry about women killing us nearly on the level that you have to worry about men killing you.
It comes with the territory. I've
It's
accepted
not
it now.
And not only that, but when women do kill
Oh,
their husbands and their boyfriends,
yeah,
it's
they're so
usually
much
by
better
poison.
about it.
So it's like kind of like
Plus,
not
the
too
guy
much pain.
probably deserved it, if I'm being honest.
Oh,
I mean,
usually they do.
most of those cases, it'll be like, yeah, he beat the shit out of her for 17 years, and she just decided to fucking crack open some thermometers and dump it in his coffee or something.
Yeah, you don't hear too many stories about husbands getting killed by their wives or boyfriends getting killed by their girlfriends because my boyfriend didn't have dinner ready.
Very good. Or they just had a bad day at the office. Or
every time I had 4 beers, my fucking bastard of a husband was bitching and moaning about me going out to get a job.
that's
so I had to kill him.
and we're getting into painting with a broad brush and stereotypes shit, but that's the whole, like, for men, childhood trauma leads to you with a gun mowing people down. And for women, it leads to, like, banging your friend. And it's like, you know what? Go ahead and...
Or
Right.
getting
It's like, you know
mowed
what? Go ahead and bang my friend. I'd rather that than getting shot at, like, a fucking Kmart for no reason.
I don't know. I might shoot my friend if he did
Yeah,
that.
that's...
But then I'd only be killing one person instead of a bunch
That's
of people.
fair.
Right?
That's fair. At least that's earned. So then I have Mike runs into one of the cults from Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah,
is with this?
and that's Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson. That's them.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's
Well,
their
good for
little
them being
cameo.
in there. Oh, awesome. And they're just like, yeah, man, what are you doing out here? It's like, I'm taking care of my friend. They're like,
And
oh, that's
also,
cool.
watch The Endless if you want to see their story.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm definitely going to check that out then. because they're like, yeah, we just wanted to know because, like, we haven't seen you out here and we come out here all the time. We just want to tell people about how the Celestial Messiah is landing his vessel here before the end of days. And then we just cut to Mike leaves. And I'm like, yep, that tracks.
This is the people you shoot, right? Yeah.
Hey, a bird.
Yep. Oh, shit, you look like a mountain lion.
His fucking mountain lion. Oh, my God.
I thought that was so funny because I watched this show on National Geographic called Something Bit Me. Yeah.
Something bit me, yeah. And that fucking lady who got on the fucking bike with a friend, and a friend like got away scot-free, but saved her
she gets
ass.
attacked by a mountain lion, and it's like in the hills of Los Angeles is where it happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a freak accident. But my takeaway from that was like, you can go hiking any time of the year in Los Angeles because it's not too hot or not too cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, this is sounding better and better.
Nope.
That was like my takeaway.
Yeah, but every time you do that, Candice, you're going to get you don't have any mountain lions in Missouri,
lions,
do you?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and we've
okay.
been having a lot of problems with mountain lions.
That was
lately.
pets.
No, not as pets, like actual wild ones.
Ever since the
Not
whole
dinner.
Siegfried and Roy incident, there's a lot of lions up in the Hollywood Hills. They've been wandering around, so you might not want to come out here.
Oh, you got some ligers running around there?
You might want to stay in Missouri. It might be
Okay,
better for
sure.
you.
Whatever. It's going to happen. You just wait. You
Try
just
to
wait.
say,
It's like that Seinfeld episode with "There's no room in Boca
Yeah.
Raton." Trust me, there's no more condos
That
in
was a
Boca
good
Raton.
so then we cut to Mike going and hiding in an old box car. But no, he just left the cult because he's done with their shit. And he finds a reel of film. He takes it back to Chris's place and goes to bed.
Which, if you guys found a reel of film, would you watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's probably porn. It's
Yep.
hidden in the woods, Candice. It's like that's some good 1950s, 1960s porn, probably. 8mm hidden
missionary.
in the woods. I mean, back then you had to take what you could get. And know what, Candice? No, just trust me. I know your husband doesn't know this website, but go on Pornhub and search for like vintage porn, like 1920s, 1930s. They would do the same shit
I
that's
was
going
making
on
a
today.
joke. Like I said, everybody thinks they invented sex. And it's like,
Yeah,
no,
you think-
people have been fucking freaky since
You think-
humanity began.
That's right. Whatever you've done, trust me, your grandparents probably
The
already
only
done
difference
it
is
and worse.
that the sibling porn back then didn't have the word step in it. We were just fucking there.
Well, I mean, because you have like what 8 kids in a bed,
God.
so
Yeah.
It's like flowers
man.
in the attic.
So then this is when we wake up.
that's 8 kids in an attic.
This is when we wake up to some crazy broad tapping on the window, and Mike.
Holy shit! This is like This is a freaky ass fucking scene for me. And I swear to God, if I had a gun, I'd pull that bitch's head off. I swear.
This is
to
that scene in Mulholland Drive when the guy's talking about his nightmare and about seeing the monster behind the diner, and they walk around the corner, and there's the fucking homeless guy over there that scares the shit out of him. This is that. Chris is like, "What the fuck?" And Mike's like, "Oh no, it's cool. She's all right, man. She's just probably."
Yeah, it's just the bitch was
Yeah,
contracted.
she's just probably from the mental hospital up the road. I'm like, okay, the best way to calm me down in the middle of the night when somebody's tapping on the window staring at me.
Because sometimes he says mental hospital
Yeah.
down the street or up the street, right? And sometimes they get out and they wander around like, yo, what the fuck?
Some
Yeah,
bad
not a
security.
So like a free.
But then also he's a crackhead, so
Yeah,
what are you
like,
gonna
is
do,
he telling
right?
the truth? Because he might not be the most reliable narrator.
Right, yeah. And again, I mean,
Well, then who the fuck is that bitch?
it's
I don't know.
cool. Tim, don't worry about it, man.
No, that scene really fucking freaked me when I saw it.
No,
I didn't
damn
like
it.
that at
She's
all.
cool.
How do you go
Don't
back to
worry.
sleep?
She's cool, Tim. It's all good. So they're like, all right, well, let's go back to sleep. Then I like how it goes from the tapping to the pounding. And then next morning, we have Billy and Micah. And they're like, look, man, we need our stuff.
You know what? Sell that fucking gigantic wrench
Oh
you
my
have in your hand,
Oh, yeah.
and you could probably buy enough.
Man,
crack
that
to last
always
you the
surprised
weekend,
me that,
right?
like, the number one thing people try to steal is tools. I didn't realize that there was this black market for tools.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Mhm.
tools are expensive, and All right, maybe I'm going to sound placist, you might want to say, but if you live in certain parts of the country, you need tools more than I do living in fucking Queens.
I just never
New
knew
York.
that. And then, I learned about it and I was like, huh, well, what do you know? I had no idea.
Well, it's...
Yeah, Candice, crackheads, they steal fucking brass,
I
they
knew
steal
that.
copper out of buildings, and they sell it to construction sites. Yeah, so what about tools? Same thing,
I just
right?
never thought of it. I was like, huh, it's very interesting.
They're hard to track and they're expensive.
And easy to carry.
So it's... Yeah. Pretty...
Well, that wrench.
Yeah. He went the wrong direction with that. That might maybe because he couldn't sell it, so he still had that laying around. Like he already sold the circular saw and all that kind of shit, but he still had the big fucking the working on the Titanic wrench. So he's all like, "Hey man, you better give me the fucking money." And as they're like, he's like, "Look, I'll cut you a check for whatever crack you can go buy a crack with
check.
it." The guy's like, "No."
This guy thinks that everything is solved with a checkbook in this part of the world. No, motherfuckers. No crackhead's going to take a
bank
check.
account?
Yeah, do you think that he has ID?
No, he's got to go to the cash checking place, and he doesn't need ID because Candice down at the cash checking place knows his ass.
Place. That's where they cash checks, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So then three other people just...
You go there, you pay your bills.
Three other people just show up, and they fuck off. And this dude is all like, "Hey, you need to fucking leave. This is my house." Guy turned around like, "Chris, what the fuck?" He's like, "Oh, we're squatting." He's like, "God damn it." All right, well, can we just rent
he's not
the
just
place?
squatting. He's squatting on tribal land.
Yeah. So the guy's like, "No, this is reservation land, dickhead. Like, the tribal council would have to be okay with you fucking being here." He's like, "All right. Well, how about if I give you a check? Everybody gets a check."
Yeah.
Candice, look under your seat.
Oh, sweet. Did we finally get our Manscaped money?
No, it's still wet from the fucking watching your goddamn Sandman earlier.
That's how you're risking off the check.
No, that's how you got stuck under there.
Yeah, so he's all like, "Look, I'll get you a check." The guy's like, "Nah, here's a number. Give me a call. I want cash tomorrow." My note never says how much cash.
That's what I put, yeah.
I was going to say the same thing. He never said how much,
I have that note too.
And later on, this motherfucker's like throwing $5 bills at him like he's a fucking cheap stripper.
Yeah. So how much money, I'm going to ask you both, how much money do you think it was to rent that place for 5 days?
$200.
$200? What about you, Tim?
I'm thinking this guy, just based on the $5 for answers later on scene, probably he wrote maybe 100, 150.
That sounds fair.
I mean, it's not exactly like it's not a fucking 5-star.
Well,
Airbnb
we are by
thing,
San
right?
Diego, so location.
Yeah, but look at that location.
It's got a basement.
It's got lots of natural views.
It's got a
bunch of abandoned cars outside in the front yard. So that's not good for you.
There's a bunch of women of questionable mental capacity that just get delivered to your doorstep in the middle of the night.
That's true. Yeah, they're wandering
Easily
around at
take
night.
advantage of them.
9 months later, you're going to be gone.
Fucking a day later, that she's going to be gone because you can just fire off random rounds and nobody comes out to investigate. So you can just take care of her. That ain't no problem.
You know what, Eddie? That's a great point because multiple times that fucking crackhead says down the street, down the road, all that stuff. So you get like the thing where he's close to other people,
walking
right?
distance.
And he's able to just fucking shoot that gun left and right without anybody.
Because it's like New York.
Yeah.
No, Candice, the cops have fucking microphones set up in New York where they can triangulate the sound of
they
a
have
fucking
the same
shopping
thing out
cart.
here, and then the helicopters come, and it's a whole big thing. You got to explain. Big pain in your ass.
I was shooting a helicopter.
Oh, that's funny. Just start shooting it. No, they'll fuck you up if you point a laser at those helicopters too, man.
oh yeah, fuck that shit. There's assholes doing that to fucking
they don't like that.
But still.
So then I have Chris. He tells Chris about what's up. And Chris is like, "Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess I'm squatting here. So what? By the way, you need to empty my shit bucket for me."
Now that's a true friend right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and first of all, I'd be like, put some gloves on, motherfucker, before you touch a crackhead shit bucket, okay?
It's a little bit.
But then again, he hasn't been really eating that much, so
That's
what
what I
can he be
was
shitting
wondering.
out?
Crackheads known for their voracious appetites.
Yeah. Hey, any crackhead listeners we have, write in. Let us know what you shit out.
Crack.
Yeah, if you've been on like a 5-day crack bender, do you shit?
Huh?
I
Good
don't know.
question. Maybe it's just dust.
I know people who are addicted to opioids like heroin don't shit because it constipates you.
Oh yeah, no. If you take that, because I remember. Oh, see, here's a crazy thing. I think it's like maybe 6-7 years ago, before the whole thing with Oxy really started hitting, with people like, maybe this isn't a good thing. There was an actual drug commercial that said that if you take opioids because of pain management and you're constipated, take our drug. It'll help you take a shit.
Well, what a great product.
Yeah.
No, when I got my nose surgery, I was...
Well, you created the disease.
Exactly.
The
Money.
Right?
And then when I got my nose surgery, I was on opioids for the pain for like a week.
You got a nose job?
Yeah, dude. I didn't tell you guys about that shit.
Let me guess, your adenoids.
I had to get...
No, I had my adenoids taken out.
No, I had a deviated septum because I had my nose broke like 3-4 times. And I finally went... Yeah.
Damn.
I finally went in to get it checked out, and the doctor's all like...
You thought with that big head it'd be easy to
So
headbutt somebody, but
no, the headbutting is no problem. It's the getting punched in the nose thing that fucks you up. So
why have you been punched in the nose that often? This is the story I want to know.
Because you get into fights,
you get into fights, you mouth off, you go into mosh pits. Shit happens. Sometimes it's an elbow.
Oh, man.
You miss those, huh, Tim?
Yeah. Oh, man, those are so great.
So anyway, I go in, this doctor is like... checking me out, and he's like, okay, he does a test for airflow restriction, right? He said I was 100% blocked in one nostril, and I had like 30% usage of the other nostril.
Fuck. So, Eddie, if you ever got kidnapped and somebody put a ball gag,
I would have, I would have been fucked.
Man, you're like the 15th person I know who's had this surgery done. I'm wondering if doctors are just fucking with people.
No, I could not breathe out of one side of my nose ever, period. It was just done. And it was like crooked and shit.
Yeah, I mean, Candice, that's something that a doctor wouldn't be able to talk you into that. You would know, like, no, dude, I can breathe out of my fucking nose. What are you talking about?
I shit you not. I know somebody who's had that surgery, and they were like, how many times have you had your nose broken because you have a deviated septum? They're like, I've never had my nose broken.
Well, that guy might have been...
Well, don't you also get it from doing a lot of coke?
No, I think that actually erodes the cartilage in between the nostrils.
So
yeah, that's what happened to Artie Lang. So anyhow, then they do this surgery where they basically like cut your nose off and peel it back and break the bone and burn out the sinus cavities and reshape the whole fucking thing. Yeah. So then they're all like, all right, man, here's some pills. You're going to want to take a few days off of work and just, kind of have a party. So I was like, all right, this is cool. Just pop these pills all day and watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That's good.
Yeah.
Are we talking Vicodin, Percocet,
So they
or
started
Oxys?
me on Vicodin, but that shit made me like itchy all over.
Yeah.
And then they gave me a
yes.
different version of it, I guess. I guess it was cut with something different. And maybe, yeah. But I remember that one was fun. The codeine was not as fun as when they put me under. That shit when they put me under was fucking great, man. God damn, that felt good for like 2 minutes. I was happy. So then I was like, I just noticed one day, I was like, I don't think I've shit in like 3 days. And I'm like,
I feel bloated. But I don't care.
But yeah, exactly. I don't care because I'm fucking high. So
yeah, I think that's all. I think Vicodin and Percocet, I think the only thing it does is you still feel the pain.
Yeah, you just don't give a fuck.
Just don't care about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, whatever.
That's so funny. Oh, were you done with your story? I'm sorry.
No. Then I'll put a capper on it. Then I had what I described as an ass parade. Was the shit that I took. It was just me sweating in the bathroom, and there's the end of the story for you.
See, that's why you need a squatty potty. Much
It
more
wasn't
easy.
that it was hard. It's just that there was a lot of it. Because it'd been a few days, and I was on a pretty strict burrito and nacho diet.
Oh God.
Yeah.
See, the thing I remember when I was having a lot of dental work done, and that was back when you went in for a cavity and they gave you fucking 6 Vicodins. And I remember I fucking loved them. They were great. And it was like one of those things where, like, whenever my tooth hurt, I was like, fuck, my tooth hurts, but you know what? I'm getting some Vicodin.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. It was like, it made you itchy.
Yeah.
And your mouth still hurt, your tooth hurt, your gums hurt, but you really just didn't give a fucking shit about it.
That was so nice.
It was
Yeah.
just too nice. Yeah, too nice. And then they had to fuck it up with oxys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, after I had my daughter, they gave me, what was it, like Tylenol with Vicodin?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like ease the pain.
Mhm.
And I am so paranoid of becoming addicted to opioids because my mom was an addict so bad that
Yeah.
if she didn't get her pills, she threatened to kill herself. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
so paranoid about it that I refuse to take it. Completely refuse to take it. I'm like, fuck you, I'll just rough it. And the nurse is like, there's not enough in here to become addicted to it. This is very, very small dosage.
Yeah, because it's Tylenol.
Yeah, like,
with
but I was
codeine,
just
Candice.
so,
That's the thing, yeah.
so paranoid about it.
Yeah.
And when I told my mom, she just started laughing. She was like, that's not enough in there to get you high. I'm like, I didn't know and I didn't want to find out. So I thought better safe than sorry.
Well, I think the thing with pills is because I remember my sister when I started smoking pot, she was like, "Oh, I don't want to smoke pot. I don't do anything like that." And I remember she told me at one point, she's like, "But I could see myself getting addicted to
Yeah.
pills."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Because it's easy to do, it's easy to get, and if your doctor's giving them
Yeah,
to
that's
you, it
why
must be
one of
okay."
the reasons I was so paranoid is because doctors were telling people like it's not addictive, you'll be fine. So I'm
Right.
like, I'm not going to trust you.
Okay, there was a time my sister had a problem with her shoulder where she couldn't lift her right arm up past where her shoulder is without having excruciating pain. And she didn't have any health insurance, so she had to go to the emergency room. And she was getting treated by a city hospital for free. And their thing was, well, all right, we can't find anything on the x-ray. Come back in 3 months. In the meantime, here's a prescription for 120 Vicodins every
man.
month
Right.
to help you with the pain.
Woo.
Yep. And it was getting to the point where she was getting the prescription. And back then, this is like 10, 15 years before anybody was like suspecting anything with like opioids or pill abuse, where the pharmacist would call the hospital like, are you sure we're supposed to give her this many this
Yeah.
quickly? Because she would go through them super fast, and she was throwing a couple to me. I'm not going to lie. I was taking them once in a while because, you know, they're nice. But, I mean, she was really going fucking crazy on them. And it would be like she'd go through them super quick. She'd call up, and she'd cancel the appointment. So now she has to wait another 3 weeks before she goes see the doctor, right? So guess what happens? Here's another 120 Vicodin to carry you over during the 3 weeks.
Jesus.
And, well, the craziest part about this story is I go over to see her one day, and she's sitting in the chair, and her leg looks like a fucking
God.
watermelon. I'm like, what the fuck happened? She's like, I don't know. A couple of days ago, my cat jumped up on me and scratched my leg.
Oh my God. So she got an infection.
Okay? Bitch had
Yep,
cat
yep.
scratch fever. Literally had cat scratch fever. That cat must have just taken a shit or
Yep.
piss, jumped in the litter
Oh my
box, and then
God.
jumped on her fucking leg. And she went to go to the fucking doctor. I had to call a fucking ambulance. I had to go to the fucking hospital and all that shit. They start giving her antibiotics, right? I go to visit her like 2 days later after she's in the hospital. And she's talking to me, and as she's talking to me, she's moving her arms around, and she's lifting her arm above her head. I'm like, what the fuck
Yeah.
are you doing? And she's like, what? So whatever it was, she had some kind of infection, obviously, because as soon as she started
interesting.
getting put on antibiotics,
Yeah.
the pain went away. And the fucking doctors, instead of realizing that or testing her and seeing what's going on, their answer was, pump this bitch full of fucking
That's
Vicodin.
crazy.
Yeah, that's like a house episode right there.
Yeah. I was just going to say.
Cat scratch fever.
Wait a minute. Maybe the cat piss is what's making her healthy. We got to No.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Everybody,
I
quick,
wish I could
piss on the
get the
leg.
phone call from the pharmacist to the hospital. That had to be hilarious. If you're like, yeah, this woman's in here. She's got a prescription for all of the Vicodin.
Well, let me tell you this. See, here's how the mind works, right? Because after that happened, she just learned. Go
There
to a
you
different
go.
pharmacy.
Yeah.
Moral of the story.
Pick up the prescription, because this is before it was being called
Yeah.
in and all that shit. You had to go pick up the prescription, and then you just go to a different pharmacy so they don't notice that you're getting a fucking 120 pills every 2 weeks
Right.
instead of every month now.
She's the pharmacist's all like, so when I asked her if she thought that maybe 120 pills might be too much and she needs to go to a doctor, she just asked, "Are you cool?" and then nudged me.
Are you hip?
Yeah.
You hip?
Amazing.
Hey, that's a
Hey.
HIPAA
We went off a
violation.
hell of a tangent there.
That's fun though. So now we okay.
Time
So now
stamp.
we've got old Mike is discovering things. So he finds a record first, right? And then he's like, "Oh, there's a shed over here with a record player in it. I might as well break in there and listen to it." And as you listen, you hear what sounds like a woman being attacked. Yeah.
Uh-huh,
And he
yeah.
finds a camera in there for the film that he
I'm
found.
very surprised you didn't say film.
I'm trying to cut back. I
Okay.
have to change up the words I pronounce wrong every once in a while just to keep people on their toes.
No, Eddie, tell us what's a form of music that a lot
Metal?
of people like today? No, what's Kanye West?
Kanye?
What's that?
Oh, the
Rappist?
rapist.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he's the
He's a
rappist.
hip hopper. Yeah, those guys. They're cool. No, rappers suck when they like stopped sampling and they just take entire songs and then just put new lyrics over it. That's when they start.
Isn't that
fucking
just
up.
called covering a song?
That's what it is, yeah. But
Yeah,
people
it's a
used to
cover.
sample. They would take 2-3 second increments of some really, really obscure
Yeah.
shit, like MF Doom. It's not obscure, but MF Doom would sample Frank Zappa, and you're like, what the fuck, But it'd only be a quick clip here and there. That mixed with Saturday morning cartoon and shit. Now it's just Kanye, literally just taking an entire song,
He's
or
lazy.
Puff Daddy, just we'll just.
Wait, he's
No,
doing
it's not even a
covers?
cover, Tim. Have you ever heard that song "Gold Digger"?
Yeah, I sing that every single
Okay,
time
the
I go to
music
karaoke.
that's underneath of that, he didn't write.
I'd believe you. You didn't have to say that. I would have just
Or
believed you.
Let me tell you, my wife and I recently had our anniversary. We went to a Korean barbecue, and then we went to karaoke. And I guess I was doing Rage
Oh,
Against the
God.
Machine a little bit too
raging a little
loud
too hard.
with "fuck you, I won't do what you tell me" over and over again. A little bit too loud because I actually came into the room and they're
The
like,
bigger
"Hey,
problem
calm
was
down."
that you had
That doesn't
unbreaking eye contact with your wife the whole time you were screaming, "Fuck you, I won't do what you tell
The
me."
biggest
That was the
problem is
big
that
problem.
Rage Against the Machine sucks.
Yeah.
You know what, Ken? I agree with you because I think they're just too
Yeah,
political
they were-
today. I like them back in the days when they
If they were
weren't
not
political.
political, it'd be better.
I just never liked their music.
Yeah, same.
You're not an angry teenager.
Nah, you had too good of a life. So
Yeah.
then-
Yeah, you were getting free drugs
Yeah.
and free video
Yeah,
games. Just like on
Candice.
the promise of pussy.
so
Here I am. I just gave my video games and my drugs to some bitch, and she didn't even give me the pussy. So fuck you. I won't do what you tell
So I
me.
like that Mike's move is hey, let's go show Chris the craziest video that I fucking found while he's going through DTs. That's a good move. So you watch it, and it's this dude walking up to a woman. The woman's missing her arm, and it's all bloody. And then they both just kind of look at the camera, and I think she was trying to wave goodbye to the camera, but she was missing her arm. Yeah.
Wrong arm, yes. She's using a ghost arm. I can
Yeah.
feel it waving.
So then
I can feel
Mike
it
turns
waving
to
to you.
Chris
Come
and
on,
is like,
what?
"Chris, what is this?" And he's like, "How the fuck should I know?" He's like, "Yeah, but it's weird." He's like, "Dude, everything is weird out here. What the fuck?"
Well, no, hold on. There's a point. Yeah, when the guy comes back and he has that box,
Yeah.
right? Doesn't the crackhead dude, don't fuck around with that shit?
Yeah, it
He
doesn't
says that, right?
knock it off.
So does he kind of know?
That was one of my questions that I always have
Yeah.
at the end of this movie. I'm like, has this just been going on the whole time and Chris was just too high to realize what was happening? Or did it start because the friend came there and was
That's
paying
a good
attention to it?
question. or did this
Maybe he's already trapped there. Yeah, that's his story,
or
right?
did this shit that was what the monster is appearing differently to Chris because he's a different person, I guess is the question. So that's why it was satellites and gray men and shadow
that's
people.
true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyhow,
and the carvings on the wall
in the
and
cave.
the
Yep.
cave paintings, right?
So
yeah.
Then
because at a point, doesn't the crackhead say, somebody 300 years ago, how did they know they were seeing a space alien, a demon, or an angel?
That was not the crackhead. That was my hero.
Oh.
The owner of the dog.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was the Baron.
Yeah, the guy that rules.
Okay.
So, he's like, I don't fucking know. So Mike's like, all right, well, what about the video that you sent me? Now, who the fuck was filming that? He's like, wait a minute. What video?
That was my first question when I saw it.
Chris is like, what video? I didn't send you any fucking video. He's like, no, the video that you sent me, dickhead, with the map on it. He's like, yo, I didn't send. Do I look like I have fucking internet, dude?
He's like, if I had it, I would have fucking sold it.
And if I did, don't you think I would have sold the fucking router by now to buy some crack?
Right.
All good points.
Very, very good point.
I would have sold the fucking modem wire, everything I could.
Yeah, next morning, Chris is emptying out the shit bucket again, or Mike is. Finds himself the book of short stories. So he's, he's like, Chris, I found a book. And Chris is like, yeah, I'm dying maybe. Can you give me something to eat? It's like, yeah, dude, here's a granola bar. And then there's this tense moment where he's got to bring the granola bar closer to him.
Yeah, it's like, is he going to jump him again?
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's too weak. In fact, he's too weak. He can't even open up the wrapper. What a pussy. Yeah. But then he starts this is his kind of like rock bottom, like he breaks down shit. He's like, dude, I just want to fucking die. He's like, fuck that. I can't even open up a goddamn granola wrapper. He's like, I'm fucking done. I'm just done. I'm just fucking dead. And Mike's like, nah, man, you're probably okay. Anyhow, I'm going to go pay that guy rent. So you're cool, right? You were just talking about killing yourself, but you're cool, right?
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I'm probably okay. All right, so if those two guys come back here threatening to kill you while you're chained up, you'll be all right, right?
That's what I kept thinking, too. Every time he leaves this guy, how does he know, number one, that the guy isn't going to try to do some crazy shit, like maybe literally cut his fucking arm off so he can go out and get some fucking crack, or those two fucking crackheads don't show up while he's fucking chained up by himself?
Well, Tim, you take calculated risks, and you have to advance the story.
True.
So he heads off and pays off Charles, the owner of the place. Charles is like, all right, cool, man. Thanks for the money. You got 4 days. By the way, you should leave because your buddy is fucked.
If the locals say this is a bad place, you should listen to them.
Yeah. So especially if it's a Native American guy.
Yeah, everybody knows that they have mystical powers and they just
you're in a horror movie.
Yeah, but also if you're an arrogant white guy, are you going to listen to that guy?
It's like if
if you're the kind of guy who's going to kidnap and handcuff your motherfucking friend to a fucking pole, are you that guy who's going to listen to anybody?
The only person that's treated more poorly is a magical black man in a Stephen King book or a movie. You know? They're the only people that get it worse.
I mean, I don't know. They always usually get a heroic death.
They die honorably.
Right.
And that's what really matters.
The most honorable thing you can do is try to save a white person. There you go, Tim. He's like, by the way, why don't you just rent that house out? Like, fix it up. You can get the Property Brothers in there.
Make it an Airbnb.
Floor plan. Yeah, Airbnb it. He's like, yeah.
Get rid of the fucking cars
Charles
on
is
blocks.
like, we tried to do that, and then some tribe members burnt it down, and we couldn't afford to fucking fix it. It's like, oh, okay. Well, never mind.
All right, so wait, hold on. Here's a problem I had is that house doesn't look like it's been burned down, right? Or is it supposed to be they burned down a house and they built another house and they haven't finished it?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I thought about that too. I was like, it doesn't look burnt.
Yeah, there's nothing at all about that house that says burned. Even when you see like the roof and all the other shit that's around it, it just looks like a house that hasn't, like somebody started to renovate it and then they stopped midway
before they put the sheetrock up.
Or those fucking silver pipes. If those pipes are in a fire, they'd be fucking tarnished,
fair.
right?
If I know anything though about crackheads, though, they start like getting projects,
And
you know,
don't
where they're
finish
like,
them.
yeah. So that could be it. Maybe he's building this place.
No, that's when you need to call them the
Yeah,
meth
there
heads.
you
We're
go.
like, we need you to
They'll
finish
be doing
painting
it
this
until
room.
dawn, then afterwards
Sitting
too.
We got 36 coats of paint on. It used to be an 8x8 room. Now it's 6x6 because
Yeah,
of all the
because
paint.
of all the paint layers. So, yeah, dude's all like, all right, fine. Well, I got to go return a library book anyway. So he slides into the library, goes over to just put this burnt piece of shit.
Second movie in a row that we have somebody go into a library with a book, right?
Yeah, that's true. So he goes over, and instead of stealing the book, though, he's trying to sneak it back in. So he's being a little bit cooler. But then he just...
Well, he doesn't want to pay those late fees. I mean, that book was taken in, like,
That
what,
book-
1970?
They're not
30
going to
years
take
ago?
that book back. That book is fucked. You see how
Yeah.
fucked that book was? They're going to be like, look, dickhead.
Oh, it's going to be one of those things, like, call it back to Seinfeld. This is a bathroom.
Oh, yeah, they put the red sticker
Yeah.
on it.
Yep. So he goes to return it. He finds some slides. He's like, oh, this is probably not traumatic. Let's go show Chris. So we got a war vet with one arm hanging himself. And Mike's like, hey, Chris, check this out. He's like elbowing him.
Did you notice?
Did he hang
Well,
himself?
did you notice that like which arm was missing switched in the film?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, did they reverse the film or? I mean, there's no answer to
could
that,
be.
but I was like, is that?
Well, because I remember the woman didn't have an arm.
Yep.
One of her arms was cut off, and then this guy had the arm cut off. But I was wondering who hung him, who's taking this video.
It's a good
Yeah,
question.
that's a good question. Well, we'll never answer that. So he's like, hey, check it out.
Plus, the other thing I noticed about all the media that this guy's finding, the record, the tape, the film, the Super 8 fucking Betamax tape that he finds later on, all that shit is completely fucked up. How do you just put that? How do you put that record on a fucking
It's not going
phonograph
to work.
turntable?
Maybe
and
that's
play?
part of it. Maybe that's part of the whole what we're actually dealing with here. Because, like, I was like, how are we finding all of these different fucking projectors and all this
I just
shit? But
assumed that there was some kind of weird artist hippie commune.
yeah. I mean,
Well, I mean, that's kind of like what the French guy says, but then I'm also thinking everybody in this fucking area is a crackhead. Somebody would have fucking found that shit, and crackhead guy even says, if I would have known that shit was there, I would have sold it for drugs.
so maybe the monster put that there for him, Tim. We don't know.
Because it's part of the story, yes. Because that's what we need to advance
There
a
you
plot,
go.
right? So
See?
that's why this
How
shit's happening.
convenient.
So every movie that has a hack writer, it's just this monster.
If only. So then, yeah, he's all like, hey, I'm finding a bunch of cool mysteries, aren't I?
Yeah.
Hey, Shaggy.
It's like, dude, I'm fucked. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck about your fucking mysteries, you dickhead. I want
some crack.
Is there crack rock in the mystery? Is it the mystery of where's the crack? Maybe we could get into that. And he's like, all right, well, dude, we need to chill for a minute. So why don't we just sit down, crack a couple of cold ones, like some bros broing out.
Talk about
Good
talk
idea,
about
bad
your
idea.
childhood friends that are all losers now. We've all been there.
Talk about that.
Well, no, but if somebody is fucking drying out or fucking getting clean from heroin and crack, or like,
No.
don't give
That's
them
what he said. He
alcohol?
was like, "You never had a problem with drinking, so here you go."
Oh, yeah. But
Yeah, but guess what? Now I'm not doing crack, so I'm going to need something to replace that shit.
maybe you should.
Maybe
Oh,
they
he
give me
has-
some whole duels.
He has
Zero
no
alcohol.
plans on quitting crack, though. So
No.
he's made that
No.
very clear.
You know, you got to respect this guy. He's fucking.
He's a dedicated
right?
crackhead. That's awesome. So, yeah, he gives him a couple of beers. He's like, you don't have a problem with alcohol, except for that time you banged a fat girl.
Heyo. Now, this reminds me of conversations you've had, Eddie, about
Me?
people that you grew up with. When you were like the chick whose pussy smelled so bad it made you throw up from 2 rooms away.
I didn't throw up.
No, the pussy smells so much, Candice.
Okay.
You have to get it right.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Eddie. She cleared an
Yes.
entire house
Cleared out,
of
not just guys.
Right? It
Not
wasn't
just
Eddie.
guys.
It was an
Not just
entire
guys.
house.
There were ladies and there was a rabbit.
And then you had one friend that banged the
Wow.
chick who looked like Hatchet Face from Crybaby.
Oh yeah.
Like, you have these stories. I've heard these
Yeah.
stories from your mouth
But Candice, let me ask you a question. As a woman who has a
Oh,
pussy,
that you know of, allegedly.
Allegedly.
well, whatever, I'm going to assume. How bad does another woman's
You have-
pussy have to smell? And when
No.
you smell a pussy that smells that bad, that's going to make dudes
She-
run out of the house.
She had to be ill. There had to be a problem.
I
Like
just can't fathom that. I can't.
Was she sticking pennies in a pussy?
I
don't-
can't fathom any circumstances that would lead to that. It still boggles my mind.
She had to have like vaginosis or something. Like
Plus, is it like one of those things where like she's like Pigpen, she gets used to
Like
that
she
smell?
can't.
Where
She can't
her
smell
own
it herself.
pussy?
Fox
I mean,
smells its
maybe.
own hole.
I mean, the irony that her name was Misty is just.
Ew.
That's not even a joke, but it should be.
Yeah, she name was Misty because you smell that shit. You wanted to do like the ending of the Mist and shoot yourself in the head.
So no, you're right. But you know what? I never shamed anybody for banging a fat chick though. That's fine.
No, let me tell you.
Okay.
Oh no, I don't
Yeah.
want
And then I do.
Tim, tell us your story about how you banged a fat chick.
I do like that Chris's response was like, "Yeah, well, you fucked that chick that looked like John Madden." I'm like, "Wow,
Look like John Madden.
bam!"
But what time of night is it?
And well, that's fair. And what John Madden are we talking?
A lot different between what you fuck at 9 p.m. versus what you're going to fuck at 3:30 p.m. At 3:30
there you
a.m.
go.
Sorry.
And what John Madden we talking about? We talking about Madden back like say in the 60s, 70s, or we not? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's John Madden. Yeah.
So then we pan out and someone's watching them. Oh, and a couple of times at certain moments in this movie, by the way, we get this weird filter jitter of the camera with red.
You get like
Yeah. It looks like there's something wrong with the film. It's like you're watching a movie theater and watching in a movie theater like 1970, and there's something wrong with the film,
Yep.
and then it comes right back. Yeah.
So then when Mike wakes up, there's some clear film overlay thing on his chest. And he's like, hey.
Yeah, you're lucky that wasn't the only thing that was like.
So he's like, hey, Chris, what's this? And he's like, I don't know, man. You were looking at it before you went to bed. He's like, really? He's like, no, I don't fucking know where it came from. It's so good. And he's like, all right, well, So he goes back over to his box of tricks and he's like, grabs this photo and he puts it on top of that. And he's like, oh, shit, it's a grave in a graveyard. So he goes to the graveyard and there's a VHS tape with a paw print. So it's one of Blue's Clues. And then he calls his wife and he's like, hey, hon, I got to, check in with you, make sure everything's cool. She's like, yeah, just been
also
throwing
his wife
up.
is pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, just I think basically telling him about the morning sickness because he's like, well, at least it's just every morning. Like, that's kind of a dick move. Morning sickness sucks, man. Like, my wife had it pretty bad with our first kid, so I feel for you. That's all I'm saying. So he's like, all right, well, I got to go antiquing. And I know you probably aren't interested in antiquing, so bye. And he hangs up. Maybe she wanted to go antiquing. I don't know.
Bitches love antiques.
I love antiques.
Give that bitch some antiques.
Yeah, I love it. I'll go out there look for shit. I got the fucking little Timmy. He's an antique. So he finds a mirror with a bunch of cum on it, and then he has an epiphany. He's like, all right, so I'm going to take a photo and then go back to the shed with the TV and VCR to have movie night with Chris. I don't get what the epiphany was with the cum mirror.
I'm not sure. I don't remember there being a mirror epiphany. I remember he found the VHS because he went to the graveyard.
Yeah,
and found a VHS and was like, let's go watch this.
So you could have, I think you could have cut this scene with the antique store mirror. Although it does come back with my hero, Baron. Okay.
Yeah, it does, yes.
Yeah.
With your favorite
So
guy,
then he
yes.
goes and takes that photo, heads to the shed for movie night. And this
Well, here's another good point, Eddie. How you said the whole thing might be happening over and over again for the crackhead guy until his friend comes into it. Your hero guy, he's showing a mirror going into another mirror, talking about infinity over and over and over and over.
Come mirror, he's talking about
what
the
a great
memory.
movie. Whoever fucking picked this made a good
Thank
choice.
you, Sophie.
Yeah.
Sophie, great choice.
You finally made the right choice, Sophie. So the recording.
You made a choice that made everybody happy.
So the recording, we find out, is when Mike tased Chris. And he's like, what the fuck? There's no way this could fucking... It's like, oh, guy's probably just standing out the window recording. He's like, no, these windows are shitty. Like, you have not been doing a good job of housekeeping.
Yeah, come on, man. This guy doesn't have a fucking filter on his camera where he gets a glare from the window.
Yeah, plus there's
right?
shit on the window. Like, this whole fucking shed's disgusting. So, like, no, it wasn't that. They had to have been inside. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to go back to that shack where there's all the weird tapes and shit, see what else I can find. He finds a diary. It's like, all right, so I got the diary, and I got to go buy some more groceries and talk to Charles. He's like, hey, Charles, this is your scene, Tim, where he's bribing Charles. It's like, hey, there's a shed.
$5 fucking dollars. Really? He's doing a fucking $5 before anybody on the internet
That's
thought
true.
about it,
He
right?
could have made our promotional content. So he's all like, hey, there's a shed on your property. He's like, stay away from the shed. What if I give you?
Yeah. You didn't rent the shed, motherfucker.
What if I give
Come
you
on,
a 5
right?
spot? He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, don't fuck with it anyway. It's like, yeah, but I found a journal. It's like, oh, okay. Give me some more money.
Yeah.
Slides him another
Tells
10.
him nothing until he. I think.
Journal? What's a journal?
I think
I
he
don't know
makes like
anything about that.
$25.
That's
Finger
pretty
rubs.
good.
Yeah. I counted
So,
15.
Okay,
yeah, he
15.
basically finds out that there were some French students out there that were researching folk tales, and they were very interested in the caverns. And if you think the caverns are going to play a major role in this, they aren't.
No, but
That's
the
okay, though.
students do.
They do. Oh, yeah, they do.
Yep.
So back at the shack, there's this just asshole dude, Ted, hanging out.
Oh, this guy.
You know, here's what I love. This is what makes
Yeah.
movies so great, all right? Because I think the only other thing I can think about is that scene where Marge in Fargo meets the fucking Japanese guy from her high school, where it has nothing at
Right.
all to do with the movie. It doesn't advance the plot at all, I think, right?
No, it doesn't. It's just something that happens, yeah.
It's just some weird-ass fucking character coming out of nowhere and
It's just
being
world
interesting.
building, right?
Yeah.
So this fucking dude's there. He's all like, I could not get this dialogue for the life of me because he's going a mile a minute. I
Oh,
think
he
this guy's
talks
on
fast.
coke.
Yeah.
He's a high pants fast talker.
Yeah. So he's all like, listen, I know you guys had to get away from where you were from so you could come out here and be married and you want to just have your little love nest in the middle of nowhere. But, you know, if you want to get some money and make yourself liquid here, we can talk about purchasing this shed. What do you guys think? You want to make a deal today? I mean, there's all those places you see the signs on the side of the road and they always say like, oh, we give you money for your house. But those guys are scammers. I really give you money for their house. In fact, I got it right here in this briefcase.
Yeah, it's
and
in
if you're
this
ready to sign
briefcase.
today, here we go.
Mm-hmm. If this was made 10 or 15 years ago, maybe 20, this guy would be John McGinty.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah, that would be the perfect role for him, dude. So he's like, yeah, I got the money in the briefcase. Let's go. And Mike's like, no. We're renting.
Yeah, Chris is like, no, he's got the money right there, man. We can do this.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. Fuck somebody who's looking to fuck you over, right? Take his goddamn cash, and guess what? This is our
Right.
tribal land.
That's
You
correct,
have no
Tim.
cause
Two
for this.
wrongs do make a right. So he said,
Yes. As long as you're ripping up somebody above you, yes,
Okay.
two wrongs make a right. I agree. Don't punch
There you
down,
go.
punch up.
So the guy's like, all right, well, damn it. By the way, you never saw me. I never saw you. Deal? Deal.
Yeah, my business and your business. Because, by the way, all this time I've been here, I never questioned the fact that you got some motherfucker
Exactly,
chained
yeah.
up to a wall,
He does
right?
not point that out at all.
Yeah.
Until the end, it was like, look, I'm not going to fuck your grift up. You don't fuck
Yeah.
my grift up, right? I was never here, so you can't call the cops on me, and I can't call the cops on you for having somebody
Right.
kidnapped.
So dude leaves, and Chris is like, "You fucker! I had a deal worked out, man. I would have cut you in." Like, oh, you son of a bitch! All right, you know what? I'm gonna cook some dinner. So they start cooking up dinner, and he talks to Chris about the shack and the researchers, and he's like, "Hey, Chris, can you read this journal real quick?" And Chris is like, "Yeah, it's foreign. I can't read this.
It's in a different. Yeah, he's looking at it and he's like, it's a different fucking language.
Yeah. He goes, but what do you notice about it? And he's like, I don't know. I guess it's got a word like telekinesis in it a bunch. So like, yeah. So again, the video that you sent me, who filmed it? He's like, I don't know. I was high. Like, well, let's check the video out again. And now it's them literally like 30 seconds ago. He's like, okay, hold on.
Shit's got real weird.
This isn't good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go to bed anyway. Next morning, we get some coffee.
This is the point where you talk to Jesus for real. But this is the point where you're like, I believe, right? How else do you fucking explain this shit?
You're not high. No one's high here.
I mean, honestly, I would have to question my mental capacity at this time.
Okay, but while you're questioning your mental capabilities to discover what's real and what's not,
for all
do
I
you
know,
go to
there's
sleep?
like a natural gas leak here or some shit, and my brain's shutting down. No, I don't go to sleep. I leave.
So guess what? Go to sleep during a suspected gas leak. Let's go to sleep.
Left when the guy was shooting at me in the beginning.
That's true. Yes, I would have been like, "Hey, Eddie!"
I would have been done. I would have been gone. No problem. So anyhow, they're having.
He shot at me two
They're
times.
having some coffee the next morning, and he's like, "So, Chris, what about them caves?" And he's like, "Oh, you mean the Mexican drug smuggling cave?"
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, "What?"
Don't.
All the way up in
As
San
soon as you
Diego?
said that, I'd be like, I'm not going there. That seems like a really bad idea.
And he's like, "Well,
maybe you're gonna find some real.
It's not really drug smuggling caves, but you remember those dumb shits, Micah and Bill that were hanging out here? That's what they thought." It's like, okay. There's they're just some caves, whatever. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to go check them out. And he's like, okay, well, if you do, make sure you bring the mountain lion gun.
Him and his mountain lions.
Yeah, he goes off on this whole tangent about like, well, since the year 1983, the population of mountain lions in this area has been growing steadily. Because like, what the fuck?
It's like 13-1 mountain lion versus
He's
people.
like, what the fuck? Are you writing a fucking biography on mountain lions or something?
No, the dog told him. That's what the book
The dog was about squirrels, not mountain lions.
Yes. Well, mountain lions also eat squirrels,
they kind of look
right?
like squirrels, right? To a
No.
dog. I'm kidding.
Mountain
I was kidding.
Yeah. Well, we'll learn about what that.
Or maybe this guy's so high on crack, he thinks the fucking squirrel's a mountain lion.
Mike's all like, hey, here's a laptop. You can play some games and stuff, buddy. I'm going to go empty your shit bucket and head to the games.
Yeah, don't look at porn.
There's no internet, Tim. So he goes outside and bam, you hear just loud shot. I'm like, fuck. It's Micah and Billy. And you hear another shot and the "Bjorn" that you always hear that signifies a dog just got killed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so sad.
And he's like, that was a warning. So he goes, buries the dog, puts the tombstone over it. It's a good thing
if you ever doubted that those crackheads were pieces of shit, now you know, because they killed a fucking dog.
Yep.
Yes, and if you ever doubted this guy is a good guy, he buried the dog.
Good thing it wasn't a pet cemetery out there.
No.
The dog comes back. Different story.
Different story.
So they have a therapy session about the differences between nature and nurture and the merits of this, because Chris is, well, his whole thing is that he's only happy with drugs because of his body chemistry. And Mike,
there are some people who are more prone to addiction because of their genetics. That's very true.
That is true.
I was able to down Vicodins for like 3 or 4 months, willy nilly, and then just stopped, and that was it. I wasn't going out buying fucking opioids.
So you're saying it's not because of a character flaw, Candice?
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It's
I
not
would
a
say-
black and white situation.
I
There's
would
lots of
say
different
more
reasons why it
often it's
happens, yeah.
probably your body chemistry. I mean, come on.
I don't know. I really can't speak to that.
I don't know. So then Mike points out, though, he's like, Chris, your family sucked. Like, that could be part of it, too. He's like, no, because I could have been raised with your fucking parents, and I'd probably be in the same spot smoking crack. So I need it to be happy.
Lots of people have good parents, good families, and they end
Yeah,
up on
there are-
drugs,
Lots
right?
of people have bad parents
So?
and bad families and don't end up on drugs, too.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why it's a complicated issue, why people get fucked up on drugs like that, and why some people are able to smoke a couple of joints every couple of weeks, and why some people have to be like me and vape
They say
every
that
single
the
day.
largest predictor for that is that if a person does come from a bad household like that, but has some form of a like decent influence mentor outside of it growing up, that can help a lot with them.
As long as it's not a Catholic
I said
priest.
good, Tim, not fucking them.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fucking
I
'em,
remember
too.
at the mental hospital learning about the people, and I'm like, the way I grew up was not that much different from the way they grew up, and I am in a very different place than they are.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the difference? What was the factor here? And one of the caseworkers was like, well, your intelligence. They're like, they're not self-aware. Like, they are borderline, mentally disabled. Like, that's a huge factor right there.
Yeah,
And I was
that
like,
could
huh.
definitely be part of it. I mean, there's, like you said, there's so many different factors. It's hard to like put it into one bucket and say, well, that's a
No.
predictive thing.
That's
but,
it's completely impossible. You can't do that.
yeah. Unless you're psychic, like Uri Geller. Did you read about him, Tim? He's going to kill Putin with mind bullets.
Oh,
Oh, God. The guy who can't bend a spoon or fucking start a watch on
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah,
Carson
the guy-
live?
but
He got
is the
fucked by
CIA paying
Ramsey.
him to do it?
The guy that the amazing Randy destroyed multiple
Yep,
times over
that
and over
one.
again?
Oh, man. So, no, he's like, by the way, you're selfish too, you piece of shit. The only reason you're out here trying to save me is because you need to be a good person. You need to make yourself feel good.
Yeah, he makes a lot of
Yes.
valid points.
Yeah. He sure does. So, he's like, I use drugs for the same reason that you're using me, basically, to feel good. Yeah. So Mike's like,
See? Bada bing.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Let's smoke some
Mike's
crack.
like, all right, never mind. Let's smoke crack. No, he's like, all right, I'm going to go hang out in a cave now. See ya. So he heads out to the cave, and we see these carvings. Well, they're like paintings. It's artwork on the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't hang it up in my house, but, it's artwork.
Well, it's
and
hung up
then,
in the cave.
so last episode, we had the spring-loaded snake. This episode, we've got the spring-loaded hobo.
No, the hobo junkie, which is like, those are two words you don't want
that's
to
a
get
bad
together,
combo.
right?
And we'll call
That's
him.
dangerous. That's more dangerous than a fucking mountain lion. All those fucking mountain lion attacks are really just hobo
We'll call
junkies.
him
Yeah, wearing fur coats.
a man of diminished housing situation. I think that's a more politically correct term.
Well, he is caved.
I guess
Yeah, he's
he's
got
more
a
like
house.
that's okay. That's fair. Maybe he's more like a troll then.
He's just going real old school.
He's living the primitive lifestyle. Some people choose to do that,
Yeah. So he's more like a hobbit.
There
is
you
what
go.
We're gonna
Yeah.
go with. Yeah.
Yeah, he's eating that fucking paleotonic fucking diet.
Paleotonic.
Whatever.
So he tries to get away from the hobbit and sprains his ankle, hobbles off, and then he goes and calls his wife to whine about it. And I'm like, can this wife get a break? All she gets to hear about is fucking him dismissing her morning sickness. He's going to go antiquing. And now he's fucking just calls her up to bitch about his ankle.
Well, she's only 2 weeks. She's only
Yeah,
2
That's
months
when it's
pregnant,
the worst.
right?
Yeah.
Those first 3 months
Is
are
it?
living hell.
Yep.
So wait, Ken, this is like being pregnant, like being in jail. The worst is the first and the last
Yeah,
day.
pretty much. Yep. Like that. Those first 3 months, you are fucking sick all the time. You're tired all the time. You feel like
God.
shit.
Then you get those middle 3 months.
Yeah,
which is
that's
kinda
when
like, okay. Your
Yeah, that's
hormones
when
are really
your
kicking
skin
in.
starts glowing. Your hair gets thicker. You look great.
I bet you it's almost as bad as getting kicked in the balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being
Okay.
pregnant.
All right.
Candice,
Oh,
you'll
yeah,
know the
no
pain
idea,
of
yeah.
getting kicked in the balls, and you'll never be able
Yeah.
to
I'll tell you
imagine.
what, Tim,
that
you ever
pain.
got kicked in the balls? All right,
Many
you ever asked the
times.
person to kick you in the balls again? Candice, how many
Nope.
kids do you...
That's why my first the first thing when you're going to get into a fight
Exactly.
is
Candice, how many kids do you have?
You're gonna like this answer. Both were accidents. So
Okay, fair. That's fair.
neither of them were planned.
Man, let's hope they're watching She-Hulk and
And did
whatever
not hear
cartoons
that.
your mother
Yeah.
watches right now. So listening to this show, yes.
All right, you
Oh,
were
don't
an
worry, you're a
accident.
happy
Don't worry
accident.
about it, sweetie.
That's why I
think
always
they
say.
all-
That's why I always say they weren't mistakes. They were accidents.
Perfect.
You have to say
Happy
surprise,
accident.
Candice. Come on.
There you go. So yeah, he gets calls the wife, whines about it, and then he's like, all right. Oh, by the way, we also found a dead dog, he tells her. And he's like, I don't know if I should tell the owner. The wife's this poor woman. This dude venting on her about nothing. Like, she didn't care about the fucking dog.
Well,
Shut up.
Yeah, why
No,
you
it's
tell me I did
it's,
dog?
it's funny
What the
because
fuck?
he's like, no, don't be sad. He's like, it was ugly as hell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he
yeah,
says
they-
that.
Oh shit, Munani. So it was
Well,
a
at
pug.
first I thought when he was saying "don't be sad," it was about his sprained ankle, but it was about the dog. So maybe fuck her.
He says, don't be sad. The dog was ugly as shit.
Yeah,
That's what he
so
says.
good. So he's goes to
That's
tell
a-
the dog's owner about what happened, and this is my dude here, right? So he goes over to homie. He's all like, and by the way, this dude's just living in like an RV.
See, again, something that just makes advances the plot, because why would you go tell this guy what happened? Just, you bury the dog.
It's
that's
buried, literally. It's dead and buried, Tim. So he goes over to tell the guy. Guy's all like, damn. Well, I just made some tea. You want to come in and get some tea? It's like,
Very nice of him.
I guess you're being cordial. So then,
Nope, I don't go in.
so then he sits down for some tea and pills, I guess, but not hidden like when I make tea. The pills are just on the side.
No, those aren't pills.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
That's pot.
yeah,
That's
he's
something like that
smoking a
he's smoking.
joint.
No.
Yeah.
The red ones, right?
Yes.
'Cause as soon as they
Okay.
open is he smoking fucking
No.
That's what he
peppers?
Okay. Before we get to that point,
Oh, okay.
right? Mike, his plate has 2 pills on it,
Oh, is that what
and
those
he's
were?
got a cup of tea. Yes, because
What?
in the end of it, he says, "And thank you for the aspirin."
Oh, the aspirins. That's right.
Okay.
Yes. After at this point, if I'm Mike and once I get out of that camera, I'm like, did I just take 2 aspirins?
right. So I'm like, don't take pills that just a random dude gives you without telling you what they are.
At the very least, I want to see you open up the bottle of bare aspirin and then take it out. Maybe you switch it
No,
out,
you-
but most people
you-
aren't going to go through that problem living out in the fucking middle of nowhere. You're just going to keep
No,
your
Tim,
pills
you,
in your
you
pill
pocket
jar.
them.
But
You say, "Thanks, I just took some aspirin 20 minutes ago, but I'll use these later on the
Don't
way
want to
back."
thin my blood too much.
Yeah, and then when you get home,
yeah,
when
my
you get home,
stomach's so
you
fucked
Google
up.
them
Yeah.
and figure out what the dose is that knocks you out and what the dose is that's fun, and then you just do the
But there's no
fun.
internet
No, when
there.
you get home, that's not his home, I hope.
Uh,
So he goes in there, he's talking to the dude, and this dude just starts rolling up this red shit. And I'm like, oh boy, we got a problem here. He's like, yeah,
it's a Panama Red.
he's like, yeah, I'm a French researcher hermit. I've been here for 30 years. Well, he doesn't say he's a hermit, but he just says he doesn't like people, and I don't blame him. Because I came here with 2 students. And they were researching. They said they were researching something similar to me, which was like archaeology, But they all just started arguing with each other and accusing each other of stealing each other's research. And he's, oh, by the way, you want to hit, Mike? And Mike's like, yeah, I haven't done that stuff since college. He's like, but wait a minute, what the fuck is that, by the way? The dude's explanation's like, I don't know. It's some shit that I got from South America. I forgot what it is. It grows on that hill pretty good, though. And I'm
I
like,
was gonna
dude,
ask the biggest pothead I know. Tim, have you ever heard of red marijuana?
no.
Nope. I mean, I've seen some purple shit and some black shit, but I've never
No,
seen
this
red
is
shit.
some other shit. This ain't no weed. I don't know what the fuck.
I thought he was smoking fucking peppers. Maybe like toad skins or something like that, right?
It's ayahuasca.
With how red they were.
Yeah. No, you drink ayahuasca.
Oh, I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it is. No, neither does he, though, so that's cool. So it's like, anyhow, I forgot what we were talking about. So it's good shit because he's already fucked up. And he's, the students just kind of vanished, left their passports. And he says, I think that they were searching for monsters and they found each other.
Dum, dum, dum.
And then he goes off on this fucking jag about angels and ghosts and aliens all being the same.
I love this, though. I love this stuff.
It's a great
Yeah,
point.
I've heard
right?
like people talk about this kind of stuff before, and it's always so interesting to me that there are people who are studying folklore, and they're like, there are all these common themes in every society that are completely isolated from each other, so there's no cultural spread, and they say the same things. It's like, what does that mean? It's like, I don't have the answer, but I just find that stuff endlessly fascinating.
Well, I think that maybe the common denominator would be, and maybe I'm high and drunk, so maybe I'm wrong, but is they all have a brain. And whatever is happening is in their brain.
Yeah.
And that's how one person sees an angel, and one person is going to say they see a demon, and one person is going to say a great person
they see
from
the
outer
same
space.
thing, and they describe it differently because it's how their brain interprets it, because of how they grew up and what society they grew up in. But
Yeah,
what are they
right.
seeing? That's the question.
Yeah, the question is, what's the thing?
Isn't there a story about how, like, maybe I'm getting it wrong because I'm drunk and high, like the Aztecs, when they saw like the ships coming, they didn't recognize, they couldn't see them because they didn't know what fucking ships
Like
were?
they couldn't physically see them?
I guess I'm getting that story wrong. Okay, pass it.
I don't know about. I've never heard that, but
Or they obviously they saw the
Yeah.
boats, but they couldn't comprehend what
Yeah.
it was that they were
totally
seeing.
yeah,
could
that
see
makes
that.
sense. Yeah,
That is crazy to think about, but yeah, I mean, and it's like the guy says exactly, Tim. He's like, look, 300 years ago, you show this fucking guy, he sees something, he doesn't know if it's an angel, an alien, what the fuck it is.
Yeah, but 300 years ago, nobody was seeing aliens. They were seeing angels. They were
Right,
seeing
but-
demons, right? And then at a certain point, the angels and the demons kind of went down a little bit in the background, and the forefront became aliens because that was
you
what
just
became
described the show
zeitgeist.
Ancient Aliens. You just summed
Exactly.
it up for literally everyone.
Exactly. I was just going to say, because yeah, then they look at the hierarchy.
Wait, do I get to have a crazy hairdo and a fucking stupid ass tan?
Sure.
I'll give you the hairdo, not the tan yet. But you gotta,
Okay. If you watch Ancient Aliens,
I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
The
it was
guy
like the
who
poster
looks-
boy.
yeah, the meme that he looks like he's slowly being abducted.
But no, I honestly find that stuff very interesting.
It is fascinating because I mean,
Oh yeah, no, that's always incredible to me. Like when the first person alive who was able to have thoughts, and was sitting in a tree area, and they saw lightning for the first time. What the fuck did
Yeah.
they think that was?
oh, that's the stars too, right? Like they thought those holes in the sky that were letting light through, and then it's like, well, maybe it's big balls of gas that are burning. And like, oh no, it is the gas that's burning. Sweet. It's people trying to find explanations for shit. And you're right, it is fascinating. Like, it's an interesting concept. What's behind this movie?
Yeah,
and
That's one of the reasons I love it. It's cosmic horror.
yeah,
Okay. And people listen to this podcast. And listen
Oh,
to
of
Yes,
course.
exactly. Yeah.
so then he's like, all right, well, cool. Then he holds up a mirror and he's going on this infinity fucking rant. He's like, look, have you ever looked into infinity? And did you notice it's got a membrane? And the guy's like, what? It's like, yeah, it's got a membrane, and you can see the membrane because then when you peel the membrane back, there's another one, and then another one, and then another one. He says, but the one thing that it always has is a beginning.
It's Doctor Strange.
He goes, it always has a beginning, and he flips the mirror over so you see the back of it. A middle, and he points the mirror at the mirror so you get the infinity effect. And then he points the mirror at Mike and says, and an end. So the guy's like, cool, I got to go. I think I left the water
'Cause you
boiling.
probably drugged me, yes.
Thank you so much for the aspirin. It's been fun. sorry about the dog. I got to go. Bye. Guy's like, all right, later. And this is why this dude's my hero.
Yeah, this guy doesn't give two shits about this fucking dog,
I mean,
right?
he probably did because it was a good dog, right?
But he's also high as hell.
But yeah, this guy's out of his fucking... And that's why this man is my hero. High as shit, just in an RV in the middle of nowhere, growing his own fucking shit, staring at mirrors all day, trying to unravel the mysteries of the universe. That's my dream life.
That's true. That does sound very great.
How's he making money?
Do you need money, Tim?
Probably selling that red weed.
That is true.
That's true.
If it got him that high, that quick, man, and he's growing it, yeah, he's fine. He's making some dough. So anyhow, we go back to the shed, and we find out that Chris has tried to kill himself. So Mike rushes in. He's like, what the fuck? Chris wakes up all annoyed. He's like, dude, chill. What's your problem?
Yeah. He's like, you scared me. It's like, I scared you.
Yeah, my problem, you look like you slit your fucking wrist, you dickhead. What the fuck you mean? He's like, oh, no, man, it's cool. I tried to, but I couldn't with the coffee mug. And then I tried to get a wire out of the mattress. This thing must have been made by like fucking NASA. I couldn't get the wire out of the son of a... I got tired and went to sleep.
Yeah.
So good. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. It's just a flesh wound anyway, no problem. Bandages him up. Like, see, I told you, it's fine. Anyhow, I'm going to go back to bed now because, I'm tired. Hey, what happened? What's with your limp? Speaking of crazy stuff. He's like, nope, no problem. I got it running from a drug hobo. It's like, yeah, well, there's a lot of weird people out there.
Yeah,
I told you don't go in that cave.
Oh yeah, I should have told you not to go. I mean, he told him with the fucking mountain lions, I thought, but
Yeah, between mountain lions and the Mexican cartel using it as a drug tunnel, I didn't figure I had to tell you to stay out of that place, right?
Good concept there. A lot of warnings, a lot of red flags. So they take a nap. I think he takes a whatever that red pill was, induced nap. Wakes up, finds a knife on the floor. It's like, that's interesting. Looks up.
Well, no, it's dropped on the floor. That's what wakes him up is the sound.
Then he looks up, and the carvings from the cave are on the wall. So Mike's like, hey, Chris, wake up. I want to tell you about stories. And he's like, what?
It's story time.
Man, it's story time. Listen, look at all these stories.
Unless it's a story about crack.
Right.
Pretty much.
He's like, look at all these stories that we've been presented with. Well, they all have an ending, right? There's this story right here with the couple. They had an ending. The fucking researchers have an ending. I think whatever it is, it wants an ending. And you hear the floor creak, and the camera does the freak out thing again real quick. And Chris is like, it's an old house. It's creaky. So Chris tells... Yeah, the camera does
sometimes.
So Chris tells Mike, look, I'm not going to go to rehab. Please just let me kill myself the way that I want to. As a friend.
You owe me.
You owe me.
Let me go. That's it. You've done what you could do, and I still want to do what I want to do. You've got to let me go. And Mike finally is like, you know what? You're right. And at that moment, the projector clicks on. And it's Chris dead. Close up on his face. And Mike unhooks Chris, and Chris is like, what the fuck? Did you Photoshop that, you dickhead? Why would you do that? Yeah, dickhead. Is there any fucking electricity here? Is there internet? How can I fucking Photoshop this, right?
So then the slide moves again. And you got Mike in a coffin. And he's like, okay, you think I would have done that? What the fuck? You saw it. It just moved on its own. Then his laptop...
It's like you can see that he's like not touching it at all. It's just going off by itself.
Yeah. And so then his explanation is like, look, this place sucks, man. There might be a power surge. A power surge? It's the satellites.
It's rationalizing everything like this.
Right.
It's those Jewish space lasers turning the fucking projector on.
It's 5G.
See, 5G gets all over the place, right?
So then the laptop clicks on, and it's a video of them in real time.
No, it's about like what?
Well,
like 4
it
seconds
becomes
behind?
it becomes in the future. It advances slightly, and then they see the things they're about to say before they say it. Then it starts fast forwarding, and then it pauses, starts back up, and it's Micah and Bill popping in the house and killing them. And Mike's like, "Oh fuck. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Shit. Okay, so it's a monster."
Yeah. Yeah, rationalize this, bitch.
Yeah. Chris is like, "What?" He's like, "Dude."
At this point, I'm like, are you sure you have any extra
Yeah.
crack?
At this point, you're like, "Give me some crack, man. I need something to take the edge off."
I need some crack to figure
No
this shit
kidding.
out, right?
So he's like, "Okay, it's a fucking monster. It wants a story with an ending. So here's what we'll do. We're going to leave. We're going to come up with a plan, right? We leave because in the video, they killed us at daytime. So we'll come back at nighttime.
Yeah.
Then they can't kill us." Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I like the movie and everything like that, and I like the last like 20, 30 minutes of the movie. It kind of lost me a little bit, like what the logic was with what was going on.
It's it's an infinite being that wants a story. It keeps people there so it can keep creating stories.
Yeah, but then you're also able to kind of beat it by just hiding outside the house.
Well, okay,
Wow.
their logic isn't great, and obviously their logic is wrong if you keep watching the movie.
Well, yeah, no, look, I understand what the entity thing is supposed to be in this movie. Exactly, they pretty much spelled that out. But again, like I said, the logic of it is why not? How does he just say, "I don't want to bring this stuff home to my wife"? How does he just know that if they leave?
I don't think
It's
he
gonna
knows
follow
that.
them.
I think he's thinking he doesn't want to take that chance.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know that, but he also doesn't want to take that chance that is an outcome that could happen.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because they get out there and they find the bag of crack in dude's truck, right? So he's like, shit, that's where I left that. He's like, "Wait, that's where you left that?" He's like, "Dude, I was high. I don't fucking know." So he's like, "All right, well, I'm going to go run the crack back into the house. So then when those dickheads come, they'll be like, 'Hey, crack.' And then maybe we'll be cool."
It's a crack track.
Hey, I found the leftover crack. So says what we'll do then is we'll go ahead and hide out, let them do the crack, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. So they load up into his truck. They go to drive away. There's a CD. And Chris is like, "Dude, don't play the fucking CD."
Don't listen to it.
He's like, "I gotta. Because it's me. Yeah, I gotta do it." So he listens to it. And it's not good. It's them getting shot dead. Clips of his wife saying it was a terrible idea. So even in fucking the nightmare world, you have to hear your fucking wife telling you, "I told you so."
Well, maybe you should fucking listen.
Standing over your coffin.
And it leaks that he's going to be a daddy. So it's like, oh, shit. Okay, well, now we have new information being handed to Chris that he didn't have before. So this cosmic resource has to be able to fucking touch everything, right? So it could affect his life. It's got a recording of his wife, Tim.
I mean, come on, it's something out of H.P. Lovecraft, so.
So he's like, fuck, well, we can't go home now. Shit. And then I love this, but right as he's saying that, Chris is like, well, can the monster even like do anything to us?
Yeah.
And what happens, Candice?
The like a door pops open, like just behind them. Kind of off in the distance a little bit, a door pops open as soon as he says, "Can it actually like touch us?"
It's like the cellar door in Cabin in the Woods. It fucking flies open. Pow! It's like, shit. Well, we better go in there.
Answers that question.
It was a good touch, man. I got to admit. So they go over to this fucking cabin or whatever it is. And he's like, all right, I'm going to go in there. It's like, okay, well, what if there's bats? And he gets on this story about a friend of theirs that got bit by bats and got rabies.
Yeah.
And now he just follows kids around and drools.
Although I had a problem with this. Rabies is one of my favorite viruses to talk
That's
about.
a great one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Candice, for the listeners.
If you get rabies and it reaches your brain to the point where you're crazy and foaming at the mouth, you're dead.
Mhm.
You're
Yep.
dead in 30. If you don't get a rabies vaccine as soon as you're bit, you are dead in 30 days.
Yep. It's
It's
done.
a death sentence. There is absolutely no treating rabies. You are going to fucking die.
Yeah, this isn't like my buddy Xander that did too much acid and now he just rolls around town on a bike. This is you're dead. Like, you don't just have diminished mental capacity.
Yeah, you're
fucking
not
toast.
living. You're not living anymore, ever.
Yep. So, yeah, I figured you would have a problem with that part because I did. So, he goes down into the shed and they find these film cans. And Chris is like, dude, should we even open that shit? Like, what the fuck? And Mike makes a little epiphany. He's like, wait a second. Maybe it's trying to save us. Because those dudes, it showed us those dudes coming by, right? And right as they're talking about this shit, Micah and Billy walk by behind them. You're like, fuck, we got to hide. So it's like, okay, they hide behind this like barn. And he's like looking at the film strip and he's like, what's going on? He's like, oh, it's us, man. We're by the cabin. He's like, oh, are we hurt? Are we injured? He's like, no, we look okay. He's like, well, what's our mood like? And he's like,
Yeah, how's our facial expressions?
What's the vibe?
he's like, I don't fucking know. I don't have the script with it. It's just the film. I'm like, what do you want me to say? It's like, I mean, we look okay. So, I'm going to go over to where this spot is and maybe we'll be all right. Maybe this is the end of the story. So they go over to the spot, cut to nighttime, and they're just out there shooting the shit about love and life, and Chris getting a whore from a website or something.
Oh man, yeah.
And having to spell it out for his
I
friend.
got a little woohoo. He's like, some what?
A woohoo? What the fuck's a woohoo? Oh, you know, zip, zip. Well, we're not doing Three Stooges here. What'd you get? A sex worker. Okay, fine. He goes, yeah, and then I just ended up doing crack with her and talking at her for 6
I
hours.
just doing crack and scared her away after 6 hours.
Oh, God.
See, again, back to Candice's point. Chicks get the drugs for free. She just had to listen to the guy rant for 6 hours.
Tim,
And
she
that
got
was it.
paid
She
to
was
do
out.
drugs with him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Win-win.
So she ran off. And he's like, so, speaking of, you're going to be a dad soon. What's that like? And he's like, oh, I think I'll be cool.
I just had a question. You think when they say a crack whore, it means she's on drugs or she's really good?
She's cracking.
A cracking good whore. No. Oh, God, that reminds me of the one of the longest running bits on Norm Macdonald when he was the host of SNL, the Weekend Update. He would do the Forbes best and worst jobs list. And it was always like environmental research, is in the number 5 spot for the best, whatever. And he is, and this year for the worst job, crack whore. The next year he is like, something has usurped crack whore for the worst job, assistant crack whore.
The golden
Great.
years.
Norm was funny. So then he's like, well, you better hope it's a boy, because then you only have to worry about one penis instead of all of them. And he goes, that's true. Can I borrow your gun?
Hey!
So we're just having the end of a cosmic horror. We have this fun levity that's going on. That's great.
I feel like at this point they know they're fucked.
Yeah. So he's like, Chris.
And he still wishes he had some crack, though.
So he's like, Chris, you would have been a good uncle, man. I'm sorry for everything I did to you. It's like, well, yeah, that's life.
What are you going to do?
Then Charles and his 2 buddies that don't have names show up, and they just fucking blow Micah and Bill's fucking brains out.
Hey, tribal land, they can do whatever the fuck they want.
It's true. You can murder people. It's fine. And then they're...
Now, here's the question I had. Did they know that it was the two crackheads, or did they think it was those two? Because at that point, earlier in the shot, he goes, well, we have the place until sundown, right? Before all the shit starts happening. So are you going to tell me that it's sundown, this guy shows up with two of his friends with shotguns, and they're just shooting these guys as soon as they fucking walk in? Do they even have time to recognize these aren't the two guys who rented the place from us? These are the fucking crackheads.
Eddie, you were about to say something?
I mean, all white people look alike.
No, I think what it is when he first met him, he was like, there's a lot of dead junkies buried in these hills. Oh. I think he doesn't care who it is. He just knows that there's junkies in this house. We're going to fucking shoot them.
Yeah. And then we can take their crack and sell it.
The point that it's tribal land is the fact that, they only fall under tribal law. They don't, LA Police Department doesn't have shit on here. The FBI doesn't have shit on here.
Yep.
So they're trespassing on tribal land. So the tribe can just be like, fucking shoot them. And that's okay.
So that's a penalty for trespass. That's a penalty for SWAT.
Right? It's stand your ground tribal land.
So they're dead. And the guy's like, all right, burn the place down. So they glug. So and they had the gas there too. So they were planning to burn the place down anyway.
Uh-huh.
So they burn it down. And I wasn't expecting it, but I'm glad they did it. All of Chris's bullets just start going off in the fire. And I was like, hell yes.
Mm-hmm. And at one point, I thought Chris got his fucking head blown off.
I did too.
Just standing there, and he's not moving. I'm like,
that would have been too cheap. But I like what they do instead. Is he's all like, Chris, is that all of your bullets? It's like, what, did he count?
Oh, these are delayed reaction bullets. You just gotta wait 5 minutes before they go off.
But like you say though, we just see Chris in profile and he's just standing there, and he's like, oh shit, the crack, and he runs at the building to go rescue the crack.
That's just really popping.
It's just a little burnt. It's still good. He moves some of the burnt pieces off of it. He's like, here, all the stuff under here is okay.
He starts like fanning the smoke into his face. Like, maybe I'll get high this way.
He's just inhaling like fucking whatever that shed's made out of. Yeah. So, God, I hope he emptied the shit bucket first.
Ugh.
So, then he falls on the ground. He's like, damn it. I have hit rock bottom now because I was just about to run into a burning building to get crack.
For rock. So
he turns to Mike and he says, you know what? Take me to rehab, dude. But you got to do it right now. And you're like,
happy
all
ending.
Happy. Yeah. And they cry and they look at each other. And he says, I guess we did get our happy ending.
No, but here's the problem, because they're morons. Because at this point, if they bought into this whole thing, that there's a monster that wants a story with an ending, none of the stories that they've been showing have happy endings. None of them, right? People with one arm cut off and fucking hung, the fucking audio tapes of people being killed, then the audio tapes of them getting fucking killed, all that shit. Well, nothing has a happy ending in this place.
Realize this, but in the moment, if your life was on the line, you're probably going to grasp at any straws that you can get out of this.
Fair.
Like the people who are like, you'll die in 5 minutes or right now. People are going to choose 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, because maybe lightning's going to strike the guy and he won't kill me.
But they don't get a happy ending.
I'm going to pray to Thor.
Do they, Candice?
No, they do not.
Because what happens?
Because a shadow, like a giant shadow, rises up in front of them, and they both turn and just stare at it, and Chris falls to his knees because he knows he's fucked. And they just stand there. You never see what they're looking at. You just know that there's some shadowing, hulking figure standing over them.
Right, because you're seeing it from the perspective of the figure. And did you notice it looks like there's a membrane over the lens first that then peels away?
Yes. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's a good touch.
Yeah. And that's it. Credits. So, Candice, you say this movie is followed up by The Endless.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of the stuff
No spoilers.
No
I haven't
spoilers,
watched
but
it
it
yet.
dives much more into this area and all the shit that happens in this area. And
Excellent.
yeah, like if you
So-
want more of this, you're
Yeah.
gonna get it because it's not like a sequel; it's a continuation.
Awesome. So it just takes place in the same universe.
Yes. Mhm.
Very cool. Well, now I have to go check that out. That I definitely enjoyed watching this.
I told you, I'm already like
There
15,
you
20
go.
minutes into
There
it, and
you
I
go.
already like it.
So I guess you could say The Endless would be another thing you could recommend like this, clearly.
Yeah.
What about another cosmic horror recommendation, Candice, while we're on the subject?
What? Since we're talking about like kind of time travel, try
Mhm.
Time Crimes.
Okay.
Oh my god, that Spanish movie?
Yeah, that's Spanish. I thought you were going to say more, which is why I paused there. But yes, like if you want something, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it does deal with like it's a low budget time, time hopping type of movie. Watch that. Yes,
And it does it very well,
Another movie
too,
that does a
yes.
lot with very little.
Yeah.
Just a guy with an overcoat and fucking bandages all wrapped around his head. That's
Damn.
it.
Well, that sounds good. So, I don't know, any closing thoughts on this from Tim, Candice?
It's
Just
yeah,
definitely
it's
recommend.
one of those movies that like I might say that I don't like quiet small movies, but I do when they're done right. Most people can't do it right. They think they can, but they can't.
It's
And
hard
this-
to do.
So what Candice is saying, she likes a movie when
yeah,
it's
She
done.
likes it when it's
Shocker.
good.
Yeah, shocker, I know, but I think people don't understand that part.
Yeah. So Candice's message is try harder.
Yeah, exactly. Do better. Get good.
Yeah. All righty. So I think that about wraps it up then. Tim, is there anything you want people to pay attention to on the internet, good sir?
I think I'm supposed to be doing a mini bin coming up pretty soon, and I think Danielle is finally pinned down when we're going to do the pest.
Oh my
on the
god, you're
Sexual
going to do the
Podcast
pest.
deal, but no.
Is anybody else going to be on there? Or is it just going to be you and Daniel?
Oh no, I think Mike is supposed to be on. I think aren't you supposed to be on? Also,
I
maybe?
don't know. I'll have to check.
I mean, it's never going to happen because he's been saying we're going to do the pest for last
That's a fun
year,
one.
So.
For sure. That's what cracked me. When my wife told me she had a crush on John Leguizamo because of
God.
the past.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And I'm like, what?
Wow. You're like, wow, this chick
I
is
was
crazy.
like,
I
what?
can marry
And
her.
she's all like, I don't know, I like smart asses.
And
I'm
you're like,
like,
oh, have I got a man for you?
Oh, yeah.
All right, that
Uh-huh.
tracks. So what about you, Candice? Anything you want people to pay attention to on the internet?
No, just follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I guess. At HorrorHoochie69 on both.
Excellent. And
Yeah, give us a review. on
yeah,
whatever you're
so
listening
I
to.
was just about to get to that. Patreon.com/bloodybits to get access to the blood bank. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff in the news lately about streaming services deleting their content, and HBO Max may be
Mhm.
going down.
Oh,
Well,
God,
I'll tell
I
you
hope
what
not.
never goes down: the blood bank. So you can get access.
Yeah, sometimes it's down for like
Maintenance
15,
stuff.
20 minutes. When
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
uploading
maintenance
new
stuff,
shit.
that kind of thing. It can happen. I mean, we're a mom and pop, just kind of small server.
3,177
A lot of content,
movies, I
that's
think.
for sure. A lot of content. We just added a bunch of stuff to it, so you can get access to that for $10 a month at patreon.com/bloodybits. And if you can't support us financially, I understand. It's hard times.
I don't. Get off your wallet.
Candice says you need to
Stop.
do better.
Do better.
Stop
Candace
buying
says,
crack.
Do better, yes.
Yeah.
Support
Stop
our
buying
Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah, just once a month. Don't
I
buy
should make
crack
a
for
separate-
$10. All right? Suck the dick.
Jesus, Tim. Look, suck one dick a month and you can afford our Patreon. God damn it.
Either way, right?
Yeah, it's good for promotion. And yeah, just give us a 5-star review if you can't support monetarily, or tell a friend to listen to it. You just go to bloodybits.com or anywhere that they listen to podcasts. So yeah, again, Sophie, thank you.
Just don't tell your crackhead
Yeah,
friends.
don't tell
'cause they're not gonna
crackhead
get the
friends.
show.
They're not going to like the show. You can send them.
Yeah, they're just whatever device you give them to listen to this podcast on.
Yeah,
they're just
send
gonna
them
sell
over
for
to
crack.
like what would be a good one for crackheads? I guess you can send them to the grind bin. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, they got a lot of crackheads.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
Motion Picture Massacre. That'd be a good one for crackheads.
Oh yeah, because he's such a speed freak.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vinny.
Vinny. Yeah.
Make him go crazy. So yeah, I think again, Sophie, thank you so much for the recommendation. We're going to do another listener recommendation next week, of course.
I already
And then should we tell them what
You
we're
know
going to
what?
plan on doing
Yeah,
for September?
so September is going to be great. But Candice, what were you saying?
I already have something in mind for that. I think you guys would agree with me, and I think you'd really like it. I think
For
you'll have a
September?
great time with it. No, for the next listener pick.
Okay, so all right, so we have the list here. Let's do it.
Well, the listeners' picks aren't done yet.
I mean, they
right?
can
The
still
system
submit
come in.
more, but if you've got one pick for next week, Candice, why don't we tease it?
Yeah, I'm thinking that a certain small, another budget movie, Deadbeat by Dawn. I've seen it.
Deadbeat by
Thank God you
No,
didn't
fuck
say
no,
Meet
I'm
the
not going to say that.
Beatles. That's
No,
Okay.
it's like, I really think you'd like it.
Yeah, so there you go then. I think I'm with you. I'm looking at it. It's 80 minutes and it came out in 1988.
Yeah.
nice. 80 minutes.
Oh my God,
Nice.
Tim. I'm looking at Mark Pittman is in it. And his
The Mark Pittman?
IMDb credit, you can see a woman's tits in the picture of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Smart.
So we're sold on
Okay,
this
nice.
movie. I think
Yep.
we're good. So yeah, listeners, if you want to tune in and watch the movie before the episode, Deadbeat by Dawn next week. I think
Yeah,
so.
should we do that? Should we always tell them what the next one is going to
Yeah.
be so people can watch it instead of? Because you know what, I bet we lose a
No.
lot of people when we say stop the podcast, watch this movie,
Yeah,
and then come.
they watch
back,
the
right?
movie.
So here's your homework.
that's a
We're
good-
doing Deadbeat by Dawn. Watch that fucking movie
Yes.
before
Deadbeat
next
at Dawn.
Tuesday.
And yeah, Tim, that's a good point. What if we tell them to stop, right? They go watch the movie, they die like Final Destination. Then they can't come back and listen to the
Yeah.
podcast. And then they're a ghost.
Yeah, because I think because you have to listen to a certain point
Yeah.
before we get the credit for it, right? You can't listen to like
That's
the first
true.
30
Yeah.
seconds.
It doesn't count as a listen unless you listen to most of it.
So listen to this. Do us a favor. If you're on your deathbed,
Put us
you're
on
gonna
repeat.
die.
No,
Yeah, just
if you're
put us
on your
repeat
deathbed
over and over again, right? Until
and you're
somebody
going to
finds
die,
your body,
take out a
at
bunch
least.
of credit cards and then just go on our Patreon and just max them out on the Patreon.
Hell
and
yeah.
kick the bucket. You see, because
That's a
then the
better
people
idea.
that survive you don't have to pay for it. Has nothing to do with them. It's not their debt.
Ah. Well, the other thing I was going to say, if you're on your deathbed, you know what?
Smoke some crack. There you go.
Smoke some crack
folks.
and binge our podcast.
Right?
That
Should that be like a thing? Like
That's-
if you know, like let's say you have like really
Yeah.
bad diseases and you know you're going to die in like 6 months, should you be given a pass to be able to smoke or do whatever kind of
Yes.
drugs you want in that time?
100%.
Of course.
So yeah, I like that slogan, Candice. Smoke crack and listen to bloody bits. So folks, I think I always used to end it with this is how we end it, but you know what? Smoke crack and listen to our podcast. Goodbye.